make sure all this goes. Okay, there goes Facebook. There goes Twitch. If I can find this, I can hit this button here. And there goes YouTube.
Nice.
It's weird having 3 streams going on this screen at once while I'm also streaming out over here. Oh, and I gotta remember to hit, once I find the cursor, gotta hit this live. And then continue closing all this Facebook tip stuff that I wish I could just turn off completely. Excuse me. Hi, we're the Cellcasts.
Hi,
guys. This is Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we're about to review, or about to start recording our review for Digimon Adventure Tri Part 3 Confession.
Is there something you might confess, sir?
Not to you.
All right, fine then.
Josh says, woo! That's what he said.
Woo back. Hey, Josh.
Sorry we're running a little late. We were trying to record the skit on the quick, and we don't feel comfortable enough to record skits live yet.
Exactly. We're working on it.
Yes, indubitably.
All right, so guys, there again, like last time, Digimon Adventure Tri is basically available anywhere.
Pretty much.
Tubi, like all those other little ones that are
Tubi, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably rent it on Amazon for $3.99.
Yeah, probably.
But why do that when you can watch it for free?
Yeah, so
Or be weird like us and buy the 6-pack, the 6 Blu-ray pack.
Yeah, exactly.
And spend what was it? $20?
I spent a little more than that.
I don't remember how much I spent. I bought the thing 3 months ago.
That is true.
When we were first talking about it, it's like, well, if we're doing this, I bet as well have it.
I think it went up by the time it'd be like I bought it.
Well, you also bought the different one because mine's all 6 in one package. Yours has 6 different.
Well, mine was actually cheaper. If I would have bought the pack, it would have been like a lot more than.
I'm just glad you got all 6 because both times we've talked about this, you missed part 3 in your listing.
Yes. But yes, we were watching Digimon Adventure Tri Movie 3. I got that right. Movie 3.
Movie 3, yes.
Confession. So there again, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's like a little over an hour.
Something like that.
Something like that. So yeah.
Oh, I paid $43.
Yeah.
But that's 6 movies. That's a steal. That's 6 movies.
That's a really good steal. So yeah, we will start reviewing this film shortly. And if you watched it, great. If you haven't,
Oh, hang on. Apparently, we may have to record the skit again.
Ah, frack.
Even though that went so good because
That
I didn't
was so
have
good.
your volume.
The
turned up.
volume was. Oh, come
Thank you,
on.
Josh.
Thanks, Josh. He couldn't hear us.
He said he could barely hear you, which meant he was only hearing you through my microphone.
Oh.
Is that better, Josh?
You streamed the other night, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I streamed
Okay.
yesterday. That's why it was turned down.
Makes sense.
Because if I don't turn that microphone down, it will pick up what's coming off of there, and
Yeah.
so you get this weird echo. I think you might still get the echo either way, but it's less noticeable when it's only coming through one microphone instead of 2.
Right.
Okay, so in that case, do we want to wait on the skit until after, or do you want to just go ahead and punch it through right now since
let's just punch
fairly
through.
easy? I'm not going to include the sound effects yet because I don't have the time to get to that point, so we'll just go do this once more.
So you'll see a live demonstration of us doing a skit. So if you find more entertainment of that, just hang in there.
Yeah, we'll be through this fairly quickly. Ready?
Go.
The following occurred after recording the review for Digimon Adventure Tri Part 2 Determination.
Well, despite everything, I thought the episode went very well.
Indeed. And Deela didn't even distract too much from the episode either. Good job.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I'm going to go to sleep and sleep like a rock tonight.
Deela says that she has an idea to make the show more interesting if we're interested.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
She says it would be easier to show us.
Crap! Where in the sand hill are we?
That is a very good question. Deedlet, The movie? What do you mean the movie?
Drew, what in the world happened to your clothes?
I could ask you the same question. I think these are Japanese school uniforms.
Huh?
I think we're in Digimon Adventure Try Now.
Deal-It, what did you do?
Okay, that's the end of the skit.
Okay.
How do we time the oof? I just kept going till I thought I heard you going down there, and we just hit it at the same time.
Well, I kept.
That's the second time we did that.
I'm like, the first time was like, okay, so it's more like I'm watching him from a side view.
And I'm listening for you, and finally we just decided to do it at the same time.
I think we need like a countdown, like 1, 2, 3, oof.
Yeah, we should have, but hey, it worked this time.
did
Who knows
work.
who knows
It
if
did
it'll
work.
come back up again.
Exactly. You know, what if we don't know if Deal-It's going to pull us into another film?
Yeah, we won't talk about our future plans, will we?
No, of course not. No, of course
Jiminy
not.
Crickets on a
Pogo stick.
Okay, on that note,
It's like, Jacob, be like, you're spoiling everything.
I mean, that's kind of 9/10 of the point she's here.
That is true. Man.
By the way, I did not do that mess up on purpose. After you said, no, we'll just do it live because we won't do it live because we're just, not ready for it yet. I
Yeah.
did not do that on purpose.
Whoops.
I just processed, dude, do you want to do it now or do you want to wait till after the show?
Right, that's fine.
When
Be
we're
like-
dead tired.
Yeah, we're completely exhausted.
Oh, me.
But yeah, guys.
So yeah, that was some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Check the audio. I think I quieted all of the Deedlit sound effects because it was requested of us to make it a little less ear splitting. So, Josh, tell me if this sounds good to you. Because honestly, I don't know what Riverside does to level
Buffer.
out mistakenly stuff, and it could get really too loud on their end. On our end, it's nice.
Yeah,
actually,
It's not bad.
a little quiet, but not too bad. Okay,
Okay, good.
I'll still be fiddle farting with it when we get to the editing phase.
Fiddle farting with
Fiddle
it.
farting. Yes, that's an official word.
Yeah. I've heard it most of my life.
Yeah. I come by it honestly because it is an East Texas word.
That is true. That is very true. Alrighty.
I gotta switch things here because I finally remembered to include the trivia in my notes instead of having to go search for it later on.
Uh-huh.
I actually thought to do that this morning. A question for you, just right quick. I'm going to try to ask this such a way it doesn't give away anything.
Got it.
But did you notice any, were you going to bring up any naming goofs? I'll say that.
No.
Okay, good. I didn't want you giving away the answer to next week's trivia question too early.
What?
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 Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I forgot one thing in my notes, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Now my soundboard on the screen has moved around and I've got to find everything again. There it is.
All right.
Okay, starting in. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who, well, he's just not feeling very well. Hi, Jacob.
Yeah, sometimes you get the digital blues a little bit. Or I got a virus.
I never thought of that as being a symptom of Tourette's. Just
I
all
don't
of
know.
a sudden your eye is turning white and you're getting very bitey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why, thank you. Let me introduce our co-host. A man who is in need to update his digital passport. Welcome, Drew.
I have I updated all that the other day.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I'm still fiddle farting because this is doing something weird. Anyway,
Of course.
getting into this week's trivia question to answer that. This week's trivia was, with the exception of TK and Kari, what are the names of all of the Digidestined kids from Digimon Season 2, aka Digimon Adventure 02?
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm curious, Jacob, if you actually know
Davis,
this.
Yoli, Cody, Kin, and yeah.
That's it. It's only those four.
Yeah, it's only that four.
Okay, if you're gonna say somebody else, I didn't do neither me nor Josh did his research correctly because Josh was the only one who answered this question.
Right.
So yeah, that was our question for this week. Jacob, how are you doing?
Man,
Now that we finally made it back from the movie,
the movie. Yes.
the last 4 parts of that movie. Because guys, guess what happened? We got transported to the digital what is that, Tokyo? I think it's Tokyo, somewhere in Japan.
Somewhere in Japan. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun.
When we kind of experienced like the rest of the series while we were there.
Yeah, not fun. You're trying to outrun digital monsters the entire time. It's not fun.
Yeah, you don't want to. Just as a little bit of note, if you see Greymon running towards you, run away.
Go the other.
Go
the other direction.
Go perpendicular.
Yeah, exactly.
If you go straight, like you always see in the movies, you're just going to have to keep chasing him. But if you go perpendicular, he's not going to see you move, and you can get out of the line of fire very quickly.
Yeah.
Also, yes, Mei Kumon is very cute and adorable, but while she's still vicious, I don't suggest it.
No.
But anyway,
Anyways.
that was a fun, interesting week.
Yes, it was.
Or actually, it was like 24. It was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
We got done with all that before midnight. That's the thing. For us, it was like 8 hours.
Yeah. It was nuts.
But we got back within 2 because it was only midnight when we got back.
Yeah, and I was hungry afterwards.
Imagine you were, because that digi food or whatever that food is that we ate in there did not come with us.
No.
I hope that someone didn't have to clean that up after we got done.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that was bad.
If it didn't follow us,
Oh, yeah. Ugh. Nightmares. Nightmare fuel.
maybe
Just
maybe Agumon picked it up because he was always
He's
a little
always hungry.
Yeah,
He's always hungry.
he's like a dog who really enjoys sniffing his own.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
That.
You know what I'm referring to.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, D-Lit transported us to another world.
Yeah, thanks, Dealit.
Wrong one. It's okay, D-Lit. We understand you had a malfunction. Nope, that's not what I wanted to say there. That didn't happen yet. Let me rephrase. It's okay, D-Lit. We understand. You should have just warn us next time.
Exactly.
Give us fair warning. All we knew was you were going to show us something,
Uh-huh.
and all of a sudden we're falling to our not to our deaths because we did survive.
Yeah.
But we fell. To quote your namesake, we were falling for 30 minutes. If you don't know, apparently Jacob in Norse is Loki.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyways.
So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
And all in all, it wasn't actually a bad trip. It was very interesting. In fact, we are thinking perhaps we're going to talk more about this later on.
Yeah,
Probably
exactly.
around the anniversary episode.
Yeah.
But we may be using that going forward. We'll see. We'll after we've had some rest time and only, review the rest of the series.
Exactly.
We'll see how we come
To catch
after
you
that.
level people up.
Exactly. So yeah. Outside of that, Jacob, how are you doing this week?
How am I doing in the real world?
Yes.
I'm doing very well. Work is always, it's good. It's frustrating sometimes. It's good. It's bad. Whatever. Working on hopefully commissions coming up. Hope that bodes well. And just trying to get things done. Motivated and working on projects and that kind of stuff. Other than that, I'm doing great. How are you?
Fair to middling. Had a good New Year's off.
Yeah.
Lucky. Got some editing done.
Mm-hmm.
I
I saw that.
finished a game
Mhm.
that I've been playing for all month
Right.
that drug my heart through the mud before I got a chance to have this movie drag my heart through the mud.
Yeah.
I mean, it tried, but I mean, I was despaired out by the time I got to this movie. But yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah.
I'll talk more about what I played here when we get to what we've been watching.
Right.
But yeah, I had a good time. It was a great weekend. We had a good New Year's Eve party at the church.
Indeed.
So yeah,
Played a very interesting game.
technically a homebrew.
Yeah, definitely a homebrew.
And he's still working on the rules for the next game, whenever that is.
Okay.
I don't know if you're going to continue playing because you got a little stressed.
Yeah.
we'll say.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
We don't want you to be stressed.
No.
Not-
I
it's
stress, I bark.
It's not a Hulk situation, folks. It's not that. It's just we really do care for Jacob. We don't want to stress him out. Berkshire, the grocery store does enough of that as it is. And Voldemort, of course.
That is true. To paraphrase Hulk, Jacob bark.
Nice.
But either way,
So, what have you been watching?
what have I been watching? I've actually been watching a lot, actually. Let me get to my notes real fast. All right, so what I have been watching. So I watched for the first time War Games. And that was a very interesting, fun, very almost surreal film. I was like, wow, this has a lot more connotations than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
A film that was made in 1983.
that is very accurate for the time.
Yeah, very accurate for the time. Definitely the peak, the peak of the Cold War, and things going amok, and a computer decides to go play a game.
Would you like to play a game?
Uh,
Not global thermonuclear war. I'll tell you
no,
that
absolutely
right
not.
now.
Just any day, please. Thank you.
Yes, tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe.
That's another game you can't win.
Exactly. So, other than that, we were at our friend's Chase house, and we got done with our Bible study. So, actually, I wrote them all down for a change, so I'm not like, wait, what was that show we watched earlier? Oh yeah, we watched
It was the show I confused with the Lego knockoff Mega Bloks.
Oh
It
yeah,
wasn't Mega Bloks. It was Mega Lobox.
Megalobox, Megablox. Be like, it was very much that's more of a shonen episode.
It's
Kind of?
It's kind of shonen. It depends if. Okay, so technically, shonen does not refer to normal content. We usually call stuff like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and One Piece as shonen because it's really the only thing we can attribute them to,
Right.
outside of adventure stories.
Yeah.
This is Megalobox. While it's definitely got shonen influences,
Right.
it's more of a sports anime because it is about boxing. It's
True.
robotic it's cyborg boxing, but it is boxing.
True. So we watched, I think, like two episodes of that.
It was 3.
3 episodes.
I counted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't really into it myself just because I can only deal with anger that's for so long.
Yeah, it's true.
And that guy was very, very angry.
very angry and very prideful. Extremely.
Well, I just didn't like the character. When you don't like a character, it's hard to care about the
Yeah,
story.
that's
at least
true.
for me, anyway.
You know what that show reminded me of? JoJo's Bizarre. I mean,
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
yeah,
The art style is not quite that outlandish from
no,
Megalobox.
yeah, but it was more
But
like,
you can tell it's that harsh style that has because it's
Yeah.
trying to stay away from the cute side of anime as much as possible.
yeah. But what I'm referring to is more how I think he's the second JoJo. I think he is the teenager.
The first one from America.
Yeah, the first one in America.
That's the second JoJo.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be like, you absolutely. I personally, I watched like most of that, and it's like, I can't stand this guy.
Yeah.
He's a royal jerk to everybody.
That's why I stopped there. I would have been much happier if they'd somehow continued Jonathan's story
I would agree.
because I actually like Jonathan.
Yeah, and then you get this prick of a grandson or grandson. Yeah, grandson
He's been in America too long. We'll just say that.
maybe. But
We as two red-blooded Americans say.
yeah, either or. So be like, yeah, I just saw the comparison between the character from Megalobox,
Megalobox.
Megalobox.
I still don't know what that means.
Yeah,
I don't know what makes it megalo.
yeah.
It's a brand name probably, but
Right.
anyway.
But either way, be like, I just found the comparisons from those two very interesting. So then we watched The Way of the House Husband.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
I think this is the third time that's been brought up, but
He
the first
has.
time by you.
Yes. That was unique. It's very much of a. It's not a full animation. It's more.
It's minimalist animation.
It's very minimalist.
I would
animation.
say it is very close to
like a motion comic.
motion comic, but here it works very well, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
And just be like the insanity of everything about it. It's like, what in the world? This is hilarious. So we watched that.
Well,
I can see why.
I'm glad I was
Drew
able to
likes it.
find a comedic anime that you would enjoy.
Yeah,
I found a comedy that he would enjoy. That's amazing in and of itself. Because this boy is weird on with his comedies. It's hard to predict.
I am. So that one's available on Netflix if you have Netflix. The next one we watched was Full Metal Panic. Watched I think the first two
It was
episodes.
Full Metal Panic Fumofu to be specific.
Oh, okay.
Because there's actually 3 Full Metal series. There's the original Full Metal Panic, which goes with the more serious stories from the manga. Then there's Fumofu, which take all the comedic stories from the manga that the manga had, but the other one had taken out and just did those stories, which of course makes it more strange.
Yeah.
And then there was the second Raid, which was the 3rd season, that was more of a combination of the other 2, but was technically a sequel to both.
Okay. So we watched Full Metal Panic Fumofu. That was hilarious.
It's the sound that their teddy bear mechs make.
Oh,
We didn't get to the teddy bear mechs.
okay. Teddy Bear Max.
Yes, Teddy Bear Max.
Okay, Teddy Bear Max. Okay, so we watched that. I think it's available on Tubi, I believe. I could be wrong.
Probably.
It's probably available on Tubi. You can go check it out there. And then we watched, or at least I watched. So this afternoon I got off work, and work was kind of stressful. Needed to do some venting to my boss, and he completely understood. And hopefully things can be kind of worked out. Try to get some things done that need to be fixed. Let's say that. Other than that, I got home and wanted to just watch something fun. And so I turned on Hulu, and what was there but One Punch Man?
One Punch.
Exactly. And
That's the teddy bear mech
that's the Teddy Bear Max
holding a shotgun.
gun. Oh, okay.
It comes up. I don't know how because I never got to it, but Fumofu's a weird show. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, either or. So I think I watched like 3 episodes just back to back doing my notes. And I'm like, whoa, okay, this is hysterical. It's more be like, you have this high tension, action stories that every character is dead serious. And then you get Saitama. He's like, what? Oh, like, man, I'm bored. Just like, I don't care kind of attitude about everything. And he just beats everybody with, again, a single punch. I'm like, wow, this is incredible storytelling.
Have you never watched it?
Yeah, I watched the the first few episodes, and I picked up where I left off, I think. And it's
So in
just
other
like,
words, you watched the episodes that they were still working through the gag parts of the manga.
pretty much.
It was like, oh, this thing's never going to take off. Oh, it's popular. We need to write a story around this quick.
Yeah, I got around to the what was it, the Fish King or something like that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's good. Oh my gosh, just boom. It's
Did you get to Moomin Rider,
yes,
aka
the cyclist.
the cyclist?
Yes, I got to him. Be like, he's the lowest of low characters.
But definitely has
the heart of a hero.
He's got more of a heart of a hero than anybody else
Yes.
in the show does.
Exactly, and then Saitama shows up and just boop, done.
Of course, Moomin Rider is a parody of Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Which we know here in the U.S. as
Masked
there was
Rider.
Masked Rider. That was when we were kids.
Yeah.
And then there was Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, which came out when we were like in high school here in America. And that's all we've ever gotten over
Yeah.
here.
Never knew that.
Outside of the original Kamen Rider is now on Tubi in all its 70s television glory.
So yeah, that is all I have been watching. So what have you been watching?
Well, outside of the things that you mentioned that I was there for,
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of the 98 Godzilla movie that TriStar made.
Oh yeah. I remember very fondly of that film.
It's different. I'm not going to say the movie is bad
Right.
because there were parts of the movie I enjoyed. I thought it was well made. It's a Roland Emmerich film. It rolls down Roland Emmerich Lane like all the other Roland Emmerich films do.
It does.
If we're being honest,
Very true.
I am not a fan of the Monitor Lizard style version of Godzilla, and I understand why officially Toho has renamed this Godzilla to just Zilla and had real Godzilla step on him in like 5 seconds in Godzilla Final Wars. I understand why all this happens, but the reason I actually stopped and watched Godzilla 98 is because if you've been watching the live stream, you've probably noted a DVD on my bookshelf for Godzilla the series, which is very good. It's much better than the movie is. It was the Saturday morning cartoon that was came out the same year as the movie.
Yeah. I've heard so many good things about that series.
It is a very good series. Now, they do not have the only kaiju they have rights to is this version of Godzilla.
Okay.
So what they do is they have this version of Godzilla fight like, I won't say public domain, but it's because some of them are original, but he goes and fights, just kind of random giant monsters. Like one I watched today, he fought Leviathan.
Really?
There was also aliens involved, but that's neither here nor there.
Of course.
That's kind of normal for Godzilla anyway.
Right.
And I was wanting to watch through the whole series before something that's coming up later this year is going to occur, where we'll be reviewing 3 episodes for when we guest on another show, but more on that later.
Right.
And I've been legitimately curious, and I'd been waiting until Christmas to see if I got 98 Godzilla because I wanted to watch the 98 Godzilla movie before I watched the TV show, which I'm glad I did because this actually ties in very well to the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like the first 5, the first minute of this is literally like the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
Just reanimated.
Right.
And they do change the story a little bit because the Zilla that hatches from the egg at the end of the movie. And here, in this one, it waits until Nick Totopoulos, the Matthew Broderick character, is down there and to hatch so that he can imprint on him and think that Nick is his mother.
Fun.
Yes. It's been very interesting.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it, actually, believe it or not. Also, in the intervening time, I've, of course, been playing Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. I played through probably the last quarter of the game over New Year's weekend. And there was a point in there where I was saying, game, don't do this to me. You're tearing me apart, Final Fantasy XIV. I'm not saying the quote right. You're tearing me apart, Final Fantasy XIV. The few people who listen to this who might know what the room is. But I mean, it was a very good story. It's one of those things where I can't talk about it. On one hand, there are still people playing through the game, and if they happen to be players and they are at Endwalker, but they hadn't finished Endwalker yet, don't want to spoil it for them because, good night, is it worth it? It is very much worth it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I were to explain to you what was happening in the last 5 minutes, I'd spend more time saying, well, this is happening because this happened way back here. And I have to go through all this big complex stuff because how well it ties into the other 4 expansions.
Understood.
So, yeah, it's a very complex game.
I gotcha.
And I'm actually thinking of something to help make that a little easier but I haven't made a decision on that yet. So I have maybe a project in the works,
Okay,
private project,
I got you.
but we'll see.
All right. Anything else?
Other than I picked up Persona 5 Royal again because I'm going to try and finish it this time.
Okay.
I'm for those of you who know what I'm referring to, I just got to the school festival and had the talk with Goro Akechi. That is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
The people who know what I'm referring to will know what event where I am in the game.
Okay.
Unlike Josh, who I still don't think's gotten past the castle yet. Because I know he's played it, but I don't think he finished it yet. But anyway.
Yeah. So I did fail to mention one thing. I did watch. It was something about fighting evil by moonlight, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let me explain that. If you saw the post and people responded to it, thank you very much. Everyone who responded to it. So
Okay, I do have a question before you get into
Okay.
the watch because he watched Sailor Moon.
yeah, watch
Did-
Sailor Moon.
My question though,
Yeah.
I really do need to be. We need to be specific here.
Okay.
Did you watch Sailor Moon or did you watch Sailor Moon Crystal?
Sailor Moon.
Okay, the reason I ask
Yeah.
is because it's a Dragon Ball Z Kai situation
Okay.
where Sailor Moon itself was a weekly show that has got a lot of filler in it
Exactly.
and is not. It follows the story, but I mean, there's a lot of extra they throw in there. Which,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, love filler. If it weren't for filler, we wouldn't get to see Goku and Piccolo learn how to drive. Which is still one of the funniest episodes of anything I've ever seen.
True.
But Crystal is freshly animated,
Right.
and it goes through the story at the same rate the manga did.
Oh, okay.
And it's much more abbreviated, and it's got the same voice cast.
Really?
Yeah, because when Viz Media got the the rights for Crystal, they also got the rights for the original Sailor Moon, which is good because the Deke dub from the 90s when we were kids,
Yeah.
and we saw it on TV, much like everything else,
Yeah.
they cut stuff out, so they just re-recorded the entire dub.
Interesting.
Sorry, continue.
So when, like you said, when we were kids, so I would probably been like an early teenager when this came out. So there again, Sailor Moon, I'd be like, I saw glimpses of it here and there, but there again, I was a young boy, and it's like, oh, Sailor Moon is a girl show. I don't want to watch this. So
While I was in puberty.
yeah, okay. So either way, so be like every once in a while, be like I would turn on Toonami and be like, what in the world's going on? Who is this little pink-haired little girl? It's like, what in the world's going on? And so I never figured out what was going on. So I saw little
Of
glimpses
course not.
here.
You came in the middle of season 2.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently,
Probably.
Sailor.
Yeah, over
Sailor,
here, it would definitely been season 2 because we
Yeah.
never got 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah. So apparently this is season 2, and I was like, so I was that day. I was like, what in the world? Because I realized that Hulu has Sailor Moon on it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So I want to figure out who this kid is.
If you started at episode 1, you are nowhere near her.
Oh no! Because what
You started at season 2, didn't you?
I started like in the middle of season 2. Because they hold on. Let me explain.
I don't think that's going to explain who she is.
No,
either.
it doesn't,
It
but-
does, but it doesn't.
Yes, it does, but it doesn't. So Bill, I'm figuring out because I saw this one image of her. She turned black and she was tall, and so I was like,
That
what?
would be Dark Lady, but sure.
Yeah, Dark Lady. And I was trying to figure out what in the world does that mean? So I found the episode and I was like, oh, okay, that's what that means. And I was like, okay, it's be like Sailor Moon S. And I was like, wow, this is really good. It's a little confusing.
No, you watch Sailor Moon R.
Okay, sorry, R.
Because it goes Sailor Moon R,
R,
Sailor Moon
S.
S, Super S, and then Stars. I don't know if we even still have stars over here, but anyway.
But either way, so I watched that and it was like, okay, so I better start from the beginning.
I know entirely too much about Sailor Moon.
Apparently. So I start from the beginning because thankfully Hulu has it.
Yes.
So I'm watching this. I'm like, I watched the first episode. I'm like, okay, you pick the most. I don't want to use the term you would describe someone who is
Airhead?
an airhead. Thank you. Better word than I was going to use. So much of an airhead of a character.
Let's be nice. We won't call her an airhead because that is demeaning.
Yeah.
we will call her Meatball Head
Okay, Meatball Head.
because that's what she was called in the original dub
Yeah.
by Tuxedo Mask. Or not,
Yeah.
not Tuxedo Mask, sorry. But I can't remember the guy's actual name. But anyway.
Yeah. So I'm watching that first episode and it's like, man, she's a Meatball Head.
Yeah.
Extremely. I'm like, okay. And then Luna shows up, the cat. I'm like, what? Okay, she's the chosen one. You're like this meatball head of a girl, a teenage girl. I'm like, what the heck?
I have a question.
And it's okay. So I watched the episode. I'm like, oh, okay. So
How far did you get?
I think like 3 episodes.
Okay, good. You know nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't know who she actually is.
I think it's been like what 20 something years
I mean,
now.
you can easily Google it and see pictures from the end of the
Yeah,
season. But
spoiler alert. Apparently, she's the reincarnation of the Queen of the Moon or something like that.
Princess.
Princess.
She is
Princess and Princess.
because the queen is. It's the queen is Queen Serenity's different. Anyway, let's not get into
but
that.
either or. Apparently, she's the reincarnation, so that's why she's the new Sailor Moon or something like that, or Sailor Moon, whatever. So I'm just thinking, like, wait a minute. So you have all these Sailor Scouts who basically come in and pick apart the enemy and really bring them down to nothing. And so so this is the way I view it. Do not get me wrong. I'm not hating on Sailor Moon as a series. It's just
We know how Usagi Tsukino is.
yeah.
If you've watched Sailor Moon for 5 seconds, you know how Usagi is, and you just kind of roll with it.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm just watching this and be like, and then looking back on what I saw of season 2, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Be like, all the Sailor Scouts do everything, and then she comes in and does her little special move and finish them off.
She actually does a lot of cool stuff in the beginning.
I'm not
I
surprised.
mean, you just barely got through the introduction to Sailor Mercury.
Right.
So, I mean, she begins to hold her own, even though she is still a bit of a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah, there again, I am not digging on anybody who's a Sailor Moon fan at all.
Scaredy catness is part of her charm.
Yeah. I'll have to go and watch a few more episodes to figure this out a little more.
I'm going to suggest just go straight to Sailor Moon Crystal, because it will go through some of that a lot faster. The first episode will pretty much, it's not shot for shot with the first episode of Sailor Moon, but it's fairly quick.
So
It's fairly similar.
So kind of a rebuild of Evangelion 1.111.
But better.
But better? Okay.
It's more accurate to the manga than the original anime is. Don't get me wrong, they're both good.
Well, you said shot for shot, and it's literally a shot for shot.
It is not shot for shot, but I mean, it is moment for moment.
Oh, okay.
Other than they do some better foreshadowing of things.
I gotcha.
Of different people.
Okay. So yeah, I watched a little bit of Sailor Moon to understand a little bit more of stuff I watched years ago
And still don't understand.
and still didn't understand it. So
Well,
I will hopefully get
like,
into it again.
It's like coming into the MCU at Civil War and wondering, who are all these people? And why do they hate each other right now?
Oh no! I've got one better. I've got one so much better. I think I've told the story before, but it's worth repeating. So you've heard of these people who be like, let's say Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2. It was the most successful movie of that franchise. So I heard of people who had never read nor watched anything of those movies and wouldn't watch the final movie because, oh, it's the final movie. I need to go watch this. They have no idea what's going on.
Because you don't just go watch the final movie. You have to watch the whole thing.
Exactly. So here's my story. So a former coworker of mine apparently decided to go to the movies with her friends. What movie did they go watch?
Avengers Endgame, which would be the same problem.
Uh-huh. She had not watched anything of the MCU. She's like, okay, I know him. I know Thor. Who are the rest of these people? She has no idea what's going on, and she was so... It was like, I didn't like it. Why didn't you like it? Because you didn't know anything about it.
Of course you didn't like it. You came in at the final chapter of a 22-part saga.
Yeah.
Of course you didn't like it.
Of course.
It's
So-
not like you came in at Ant-Man and the Wasp where you really didn't need to know anything
Right.
that happened before, even though it helps.
Right.
This is literally part 2 of a movie because you should at least watch Infinity War, and Infinity War ain't gonna make sense unless you've watched some of the other stuff too. So
Agreed.
anyway,
Anyways, so yeah, it's just it was, the idea of jumping into a series and starting off in the second season to understand what the progression of a character transforming into this Dark Lady character, why did that happen, and then jumping back into the first season to start the journey of what that leads into. I was like, oh, okay. So there again, I am not trying to dig or downplay anybody who is a Sailor Moon fan, because believe me, when I posted that, people were like, but I love Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was my favorite show when I was growing up.
but you didn't say anything bad about Sailor Moon.
Exactly. I didn't.
I read that post. It's
You
like,
did.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand.
So there again, be like,
If I think the only thing I made fun of you is you called it Inuyasha for some reason.
no, I said be like Inuyasha anyone?
Yeah, it's like I think you've got your animes confused because that's Sailor Moon, not Inuyasha.
What I was referring to when I said that was like I think I made a grave mistake, kind of joking. And it would be like, does anybody want to watch Inuyasha instead?
You went to the cat show instead of the dog show.
Yeah, pretty much. Went to the wrong pound. Not implying anything, people. But either way,
Oh,
fun
my
aside. So yes, the last thing I want to say is like Sailor Moon. I watched Sailor Moon.
Dealit says that's good because we do need to move on to the news.
That is true. We do need to move on to the news. Thanks, Neelit. So let me pull up the iPad real fast. All right. So in the news, the only thing I could really find, I know Encanto. Am I saying that right?
Dealit says yes, you are.
Okay. Encanto.
Which is correct.
That is coming to digital very quickly. And that on the way over here, it made me think of when I was a kid when Jurassic Park came out in theaters, and it took a year and a half to come to VHS. Granted, it was the 90s, and technology was a lot slower back then. And so now
But
we
there
have...
also wasn't the expectation that you would have it would have come out in the same year.
That is true. That is so true. So, with that said, so the only thing I really find was the 2021 box office, the top 10s of the movies coming that were the blockbusters of the year.
Right.
So, what question to you, Drew? What do you think was the number one film of 2021?
Overall.
Yes.
Number one overall. I'm not going to say Spider-Man No Way Home because it didn't have a lot of time to make play, even though it is the best-selling film in Sony's history. In, less than a month? So, I mean, it's probably close, but I'm not going to say it's at the very top.
Okay, then what do you think is the top?
Good night. I have no clue what's at the very top. You know what? I'm just going to go with No Way Home because I can't think of what else would be up there.
Well, you're correct. Spider-Man No Way Home has gross... When it started in 2021 is a continuous, so it counts for 2021. So it's gross right now at $575.6 million. That's insane. So then you have Shang-Chi, you have Venom, Black Widow.
That was good.
F9.
Didn't watch.
Eternals.
Good.
No Time to Die.
Good.
Quiet Place Part 2.
Didn't watch because I've not seen the first one.
Free Guy.
Didn't watch. Meant to, but didn't.
Yeah. Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Still ought to, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
It's already left here, so I mean, I'm just going to wait for
Right.
home
And right
video
now,
at this point.
right now, I saw a friend of mine who's watching on I think it was Amazon Prime Video for like $19.99. It was like, that's not a bad deal.
I will wait until I can get it for like, I can rent it for like $2.99.
That is true. So, Okay, so going from the live action movies
Mhm.
to the animated / hybrid films, what do you believe was the highest grossing animated
Raya and
film?
the Last Dragon.
No.
Really?
Yeah, it actually came in at sixth. $54.7 million. Now,
Well,
mind you,
Now,
now
No Soul's not on that list because it technically was at the beat.
No,
it,
it's not.
It didn't have a thing, and neither could Luca be, because it was a digital. It went straight to digital, which we all know that annoyance.
Thanks, Disney.
Yeah, because Pixar wasn't happy about that either.
No, they weren't.
The other Disney movie that came out was Encanto, which I don't know how well that's done.
Well, let me read out
Boss
some.
Baby Family Business come out this year? Or did it get pushed?
So did Space Jam. Remember that.
Space Jam. Oh, that was iffy. And then there was Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. You had the Addams Family too.
Addams Family 2. Yeah, that was okay.
Let me think. The Crude's a new age.
Crude's new Legacy.
Yeah.
I think New Legacy is Space Jam.
Yeah, New Legacy. You're mixing these up, man.
Mixing them up. Good night. Jeopardy's not an animation. I'm gonna say Space Jam: A New Legacy because there was a lot of hype going into that.
Agreed.
Especially if Raya and the Last Dragon is not at number one, which I just feels wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Encanto has had enough. There's not been enough noise about Encanto for it to be up there yet,
Okay.
in my opinion.
So you're number
I'm
one.
gonna say Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Okay. You're close. Space Jam is actually number 3.
Oh.
Encanto is number 1.
But I've not heard anybody talk about it.
That's a weird thing. No one has, but it apparently did very well in theaters.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the last movie on the top. Granted, this is coming from boxofficemojo.com. At the very end of the year. The last movie was My Hero Academia World's Heroes by Funimation. Or film it.
Funimation and Toho?
Funimation. I wanted to say
You wanted to say Filmation.
I want to say Filmation.
I
but
heard
that's
you
wrong.
say Filmation.
Yes,
Start saying
yes,
Filmation, thinking, nope,
yes.
that's He-Man. That's different.
Yeah, that's different. Mine's different.
So this is Funimation.
Funimation. All right, so yeah, that is all I have for an info stuff.
It's funny, not filmy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to the spoiler-free section of our review for Digimon Adventure Try Part 3 Confession. And I'm going to confess right now that part of the reason I will be happy, a minor part of the reason I will be happy when we get past this is we'll have short-named movies again. No judgment there because it doesn't affect the quality of the movie, but I am getting tired of the mouthful and the long file names. But,
Yeah, they do get a little shorter.
yes, when we get to the beginning of season 4, the names will get shorter.
You mean episode?
No, because I mean we still have the next 3 are still going to be Digimon Adventure Try Part such and such.
Yeah.
Verb,
True.
adjective,
Adjective.
random word that describes what goes on in the movie. That
is true.
Last word is.
Yes. But either way.
I was not expecting this one to be the sad movie. I'll be honest. And it's not really too much of a spoiler, I don't think, because especially after the end of the last movie.
Yeah.
But I guess I was I'm not sure what I was expecting. I expected, Meiku to be, that I expected some going into that is it Mako? Is that the
Mako.
the girl's name?
Yeah, Mako.
Mako would have to be dealing with the loss, or dealing with the fact that Mekumon had run away again and was obviously in some sort of trouble.
Right.
I knew that was going to happen. That was probably going to be what was going on, but I just really was not. I was kind of expecting a continuation of the, for lack of a better term, the brightness of the episode 2.
Right.
And that's not what this one is.
No.
It's still a good movie. Don't get
Yeah,
me wrong.
Exactly.
It's just it was a lot of, now this tragedy is happening, and now this tragedy is happening. And it's like, this is interesting and all, and I really do like what we see, but this is a lot sadder movie.
Mm-hmm.
than I was really expecting. I mean, up until this one, I could easily say that you could have probably split the movies easily enough up into 20-minute chunks to make a TV series out of. And that's kind of the route it was going. This one kind of blows that thought process out of the water because you have 6 episodes or however many it takes to fill this one up
Right.
of tragedy and despair for so long. You're going to have kids tuning out. You know?
Right.
And I suspect it is not going. I suspect it's going to brighten up here in a bit.
Hopefully.
Because it kind of looked like there at the end we were heading at least back to different things. Although there were some nice reveals. But I also still suspect it's like, well, we're still going to deal with the fact that this is a tale about actually growing up into adults.
Yeah, possibly.
Unlike the other 2 Digimon adventures, which was still growing up, but only growing up to being kids or growing up to being teenagers. This is growing into being adults.
Yeah.
Which deals a lot with responsibility, which is a lot of what we've seen in this.
Yeah,
so far
agree.
as them coming into the responsibility that they have with all this.
Yeah.
And dealing with those responsibilities. This is dealing with the tragedy that comes with you try to get. I'm trying to say all this without spoiling anything, but
Yeah.
this episode is definitely dealing more with the tragedies of dealing with the tragedies of life, of the things you don't want to have to do, but you still have to.
Yeah.
Because and the reason you're doing it is not because you're being forced to, it's because there really is no other choice that you can see. You're having to do the hard thing. That is the thing about this movie. It is a lot more somber. I mean, the other 2 movies, they start off with Digimon are back again for the English version.
Yeah.
This one doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
And I thought that threw me off when I first plugged it in because you get to the main menu on the Blu-ray and you hear the do 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 do. It's Digitime again.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're this is gonna be where it is, and the movie starts, and you see the little things like, "Where's the music? Where's the music?"
Mm-hmm.
There's no music because this is sad times.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the movie. It's still making me look forward to where this is going.
Yeah.
Especially with the ending. And we did get a lot of nice, more some plot threads filled in. Some plot threads I suspect were red herrings that were filled in. Especially with that one reveal at the end.
Right.
And I'm curious where this is going to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's my spoiler-free thoughts as best as I can say them.
Yeah. I would definitely say this is a very somber film. It's very much it's coming off the repercussions of what happened in the end of 2. Yeah, 2. Yeah,
2.
Yeah,
we're on movie 3.
We're on movie 3. For some reason, I get these mixed up in order where they are, but so yeah, we're moving.
You're not used to dealing with a 6-part movie split into 6 movies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what this is.
It is. It is.
It's
so
definitely a 12-hour movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a 12-hour movie. So this, it's very somber. It's a lot more lower key. You're dealing with, like I said before, the repercussions of what happened in 2, the betrayal of happening in 2, and you have heartbreak, and then you have, oh my gosh, the be like crush your soul like a grape.
If your
moment.
soul wasn't already kind of shrunk from another thing you watched or played.
Yeah, that is
I
true.
will admit, I can tell what this is supposed to be doing, but I'm not feeling it right now, and it's not the movie's fault.
Yeah, because the way they portray those scenes in particular, the characters I'm referring to, and I'll get that in my likes or later on, but just that so much of it's the character willing to do this in order to be like you need to do this in order to protect everything, and it's very much the characters, who that character was early on in the original series, and it was just so gripping watching that, and then you go much later on and be like, you're still dealing with the grief, and you get confession. And there's something I really wish they would have done more in this film, but I'll get that with my dislikes. But overall, I enjoyed it. It was tremendous. It was tremendously sad, but had tremendous payoffs. So we go back to a place we were in another series.
Yes.
So
I am curious, though, since we have hit the tragic part of the tale at movie 3. How much lighter in tone is the rest of the story going to be? Because you could do another tragic thing right after this, but I don't think that would work with the way the story was looking. But I suspect we now that we've hit the low point, which you're usually supposed to do at the beginning of Act 3, not the beginning of Act 2.
Yeah.
Because this is the beginning of Act 2. I'm curious, is there a much darker thing coming up at the beginning of episode 5 that we're going to have to deal with?
I don't know.
Or are we in the rising up and taking out and all this stuff? I mean, I assume at some point we're going to have to explain, some of the other mysteries that we saw from the very beginning of the series, and will be interesting to discover that, which we still don't know at this point.
I do know, having followed this movie when it was releasing, and I know I think it's part 5, and I'm looking forward to that. What happens in part 5 is like, oh crap, this is going to be good, but oh man, I feel bad for those characters.
Yeah.
But either way, we'll get there when we get there, like in a show we used to do. So other than that, I'm definitely this was a great film, definitely good setup, definitely kind of put the brakes on a little bit to deal with more of the instead of dealing with the character dramas, you're dealing with situational dramas, and it's very well done. Unlike like you would have I was talking to someone today they were talking about be like, oh, it needs more drama. And it's like, well, there's the thing of putting too much drama into a show, and making it overhype of drama, or you take something like this, you deal with a tragedy and how much drama comes out of that, how much tragedy comes out of it. And so not this filler, let's over Cassandra everything to make it the most drama it can be, and give the story more down to earth, and you're dealing with everything that happened and everything that's gonna happen in the movie. Yeah, this movie is so just, it's good in a sad way.
Yeah, I agree with you. Dila says we are getting definitely closer to spoiler territory, as much as we've already talked about this. So we do need to go ahead and jump into the spoilers. Join us on the other side of the bumpers, and we will get to doing just that. Don't forget that you can download. Don't forget that you can. Don't forget that you can listen to us record the podcast live every Tuesday over on our Facebook page, The Cellcast, our Twitch channel, The Cellcast Gaming, and on YouTube at Cellcast. Also, don't forget to join our Patreon if you would like to support us monetarily. At $1, you'll get our everlasting thanks. At our $5 tier, you can get some artwork from Jacob, and at our $10 tier, you can get bloopers for every episode we've released that I've remembered to release them for, and you can get commentaries from different movies. So come check us out over there if you would like to support us financially. Each week on Stunning and Brave, hosts Chris Cowan of the Babylon Bee and Nate Henderson of Some Boring Budgeting Job confess their privilege, spotlight stunning social media posts, and fabricate outrage, all while keeping you super woke and enlightened. They will make you laugh. That's right, you have no choice. Check out Stunning and Brave at stunningandbrave.net. Do you like Star Wars? I don't just mean the original trilogy. Along with that, I mean the prequels, the sequels, the anthologies, the animated shows, and of course, who doesn't like Baby Yoda? Well, if you've been in the fandom for any length of time, you know how toxic the fandom can get. And if you'd like to be able to discuss a galaxy far, far away in a much more positive light, might I suggest searching out The Outer Rim, a Facebook group dedicated to all Star Wars, and check out their YouTube channel, which you can easily find at Pop Americana, which the podcast you're currently listening to is also a part of. To find that and more, check out the link in the description. So in listening to that last bumper, I remembered something else that I watched this week.
Oh, really?
First episode of Book of Fett.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That is good.
Yeah. I heard people's reviews of it say it's slow and boring. I was like, really?
That's because people have no patience.
That is true. Patience is going out the windows nowadays.
Yes. I enjoyed
And people are so cynical nowadays.
I enjoyed the fool out of it. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's episode. So, yeah. Anyway, in our chat, we've got, if I can get over here and scroll, Josh says, I can love how I can say that without doing it because no one else is talking in our chat right now. He would love to go into this movie, to be honest. Really, this one. The saddest one?
This one. I don't know. It might get sad or
Maybe
I don't know yet.
Maybe last episode I could see.
Yeah. You want to go into this episode now?
I want to go into the festival and watch the
Digimon.
and watch the Digimon. That
was fun.
I would like to see in real life.
Went nuts.
I would really like to see in real life. Pretty please.
No. Man.
It says we were a little quiet on the sound effects, but not too bad. I thought about reminding you earlier to go ahead and find the trivia. I thank you for thinking about that. He asked if we survived our trip into Digimon Adventure Tri. I don't know. I seem to be whole. How about you?
I've got no legs. No, I'm fine.
That'll be an interesting story at the next family reunion.
Yeah, weak.
Why don't you have legs? Well, you see, somehow I got transported into a movie and I got stepped on by Metal Garurumon.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
And then your parents are like, "What's a Metal Garurumon?" Josh says that you might like the anime Sergeant Frog.
Sergeant Frog?
Sergeant Frog, yeah, is very comedically based.
Okay.
It is about an alien race attempting to take over the planet Earth, but they're absolutely pitiful at it.
Oh, okay.
And they're frog people.
Ribbit.
Yeah. It's a fun show, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
And then when we were talking about Full Metal Panic, he says, and then there's the movie Full Metal Jacket. No. There is no. The only connection is is that the military is involved.
Pretty much.
Then Josh says he needs to check out the Teddy Bear Mech show. I do suggest it. You might want to go check out the more serious show first, the original Full Metal Panic, to at least understand why he's protecting Cheatery, the girl.
I wondered to myself, I was like, what in the world?
You forgot about that because we watched Full Metal Panic once at that thing, the original.
That's right, we did.
And then Josh says, "Oh, hi, Drew."
Oh, hi, Drew?
Yes. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Drew.
Oh. No.
Yes, the room. And he
Movie
says,
I have not seen and probably will never watch. Maybe.
Never say never.
Again.
Speaking of which, Josh says he's never watched Sailor Moon.
Huh.
Give it a shot. It's actually a pretty decent show. And then he said Sailor Moon, arg.
Exactly. Arg.
Yeah,
Sailor Moon as pirates. That'd be funny.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Josh says, when we were talking about Encanto, he says, I prefer in Johto.
In Johto?
Pokemon joke.
Oh, okay.
Because Kanto was the name of the first the region from Gen 1.
Oh,
and Johto is the region from Gen 2, which is right next to it.
Okay. Yeah, before the digital world where, stuff happens.
I love how you think nothing happens in Pokemon.
Well, at least characters actually do something.
You're only thinking of the anime. And I'll
Exactly.
admit,
That's what I'm saying.
I
The
will
anime.
admit the anime takes forever to get anywhere. But I still enjoy it.
Well,
'Cause it's fun. It's a story about a kid's adventure. The kid doesn't actually have to, actually win the Pokemon Championship until the comedy season.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm thinking just just more of a little side note here. Okay.
Bear in mind, Ash is a 12-year-old with 20 years of experience.
Apparently,
He
he's
is
still a
what
12-year-old.
He is what every employer is looking for.
Yeah, he's got plenty of experience on trying to catch Pokemon.
After 20 years, he finally won the world championship in the area where in the games the Pokemon League doesn't actually exist.
I thought he finally won a gym. Won a gym. I thought that
No,
was.
he's won gyms.
Really?
He has earned a spot in the Pokemon League championships every season. He's earned all 8 badges from every single area.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
he did not.
I was misinformed then. Apparently,
he did not ever succeed in beating the Elite Four or beating because they have the Elite Four, but in the anime they extended it to like a whole championship thing.
Yeah. Okay. In my defense,
No, it didn't take him 20 years to finally beat Brock.
Yeah. Okay. In my defense, be like there again, not being a Pokemon fan.
Right.
Primarily being a Digimon fan. So my understanding was that Ash, his name is Ash.
Yes.
Went 20 years as a series and never won. I think it's
You realize
a gym. Never became a gym trainer or whatever.
I think you maybe misunderstood. Maybe I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know who told you about that, but
yeah.
He has won. It was one of those Goku moments where they could not. They felt they could not have Ash actually win the full championship of a league, of a Pokemon League, because then he would have nothing to strive for in the next one.
Right.
So he never won. He didn't win the Indigo League, which is Gen 1. He didn't win the Johto League or the Hoenn or the Sinnoh Unova. Kalos, but he won Alola. Oh, and technically he won the Orange Islands right after that, but that wasn't an official league.
Oh, okay.
But he did technically win that one.
Yeah, I watched a very interesting YouTube. I think it was like Game Theory that he came up with. He was doing something over on Pokemon. I know you do. I know you do. I know I do sometimes, but he's entertaining. Let's say that he's very.
I'll give you that.
He's entertaining.
Sometimes I just turn him off mid-theory because it's like, oh no, you're completely wrong. And you're not even to actually explaining your theory, actually postulating what your theory is. You've just gotten all these details wrong because you're going off of something you postulated somewhere else. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
But either way, it'd be like he went and did calculations on how much it costs and this and this and this and this and this, because apparently every 12-year-old gets to become a Pokemon trainer in this world, as far as I understand.
It's kind of like a traditional thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. It's like nearly all. I mean, when we get, not to spoil anything going forward, but when we do review Pokemon Detective Pikachu,
yeah,
he did not go out. The protagonist did not go out on this Pokemon journey.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Throwing that out there.
I got you. So I found it very interesting. So every 12-year-old goes out into the world by themselves with a Pokemon, and they have to go and enslave all these little Pokemon in order to become a Pokemon master.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Wow.
They do not have to catch every Pokemon. If that was the case, there would be no Pokemon masters. Because there are, at the very least, as of this point right now, at least 50 Pokemon that there is only one known member of the species that's ever been seen.
Right.
It's impossible for everyone to have caught them all.
Right.
I mean, how many people do you think caught Mewtwo? Probably. Just the one you know.
Yeah.
Or Mew, for that matter.
Yeah, well, he's Mew.
Yeah. Not to mention that you had all 3 legendary birds from that generation, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres.
Right.
That there's only one of each.
Mm-hmm.
And then the legendary dogs from Gen 2, along with Lugia and Ho-Oh, which were the big ones for that. So on, so forth. 8 generations
Yeah.
worth of games.
Yeah.
There's no way anyone in their right mind in the Pokemon universe
Yeah.
has actually caught them all.
Yeah. So there again, what is
So
the
that's not the point. The point is
okay?
they have to complete the Pokemon League challenge, with the exception of the Alola region, because that's weird. We won't get into that one. They were trying
Okay.
something different that game.
Right.
So I applaud them for trying to change up the formula. But,
Right.
But the idea is you're supposed to collect the badges in your area, generally 8, that are held by gym leaders. And when you get all 8 gyms, when you complete all 8 gym leaders, or beat all 8 gym leaders, you then gain access to the Elite Four. And then after you beat the Elite Four, assuming you beat the Elite Four,
Right.
technically not guaranteed in the story, you then fight the champion. And the champion is whoever beat the champion last time,
Yeah.
which is why you fight your rivals, the champion, at the end of Red and Blue.
Okay.
Gary. Or Blue, technically.
Okay. I okay. So
I'm just telling you what Pokemon is actually supposed to be about, how the good games and the anime are supposed to be. Then you keep running into these evil organizations that somehow Ash is able to defeat. That's really the more
yeah. So here we go.
Ash has like defeated like 8 evil organizations by this point, but yet Team Rocket is still following him around.
Yeah, exactly. And he can't win a world tournament, but he can beat all these bad guys. Which I just
Through
granted
the power of friendship, which he doesn't have when he's on the championships. So,
right.
I mean, when
because
in
he's
the
friends with his Pokemon he's caught.
but in the championship, he has to play by championship rules, which
Yeah.
means one Pokemon at a time.
Yeah.
So-
Kind of going back to our review of Pokemon the first movie. Which we reviewed, so go back and
Yes, with
listen
Josh,
to that. Who'll be on the episode?
Who is
when we
not
do.
in the Detective Pikachu episode?
Yes. So the fact that like in that movie, our characters learned the valuable lesson that maybe we shouldn't fight Pokemon for our own entertainment. But then
But
again,
then YouTube erases their
Their
minds, so
minds.
they don't remember the
oh
adventure.
yeah. So what are we doing here? Oh yeah, let's fight Pokemon. Let's capture Pokemon, make them do our will and battle.
Okay,
it's like
that
you
is
learn nothing.
They learn.
I know.
You got to remember, yes, Pokemon is cockfighting.
Yes.
Digital cockfighting. I will
is.
admit that.
It
But
is.
but the Pokemon want to fight.
The Pokemon want to fight. Okay.
Yes. That is the thing. They allow themselves to be caught by their trainer. Allow themselves.
Allow.
I'd love
Okay.
to know how much that Caterpie really allowed himself to be caught.
Right.
And not to mention all the ones that are born into being caught when they go through a Pokemon breeder. But anyway,
Yeah. Caught.
we are getting off
Allow
topic.
themselves to be caught. No, this is great.
We were going to talk about that part later. We still are in the middle of Digimon.
Yeah, that is true.
And I'm
But
still
that
in the
was fun.
middle of chat here. So,
Okay.
Josh also going back to Josh. He says he started playing a Pokemon ROM hack that replaces all the Pokemon with Digimon.
I've heard of those.
Yes. Josh says his favorite character needs a hug. I'm guessing Mako or Meikumon too. technically.
Meiku. Yeah.
Josh says Ash is 10, not 12. My bad.
Sheesh. He's still a preteen.
No, I will put this. Ash may be 10 at the
He's a
beginning
tween,
of
actually.
Ash may be 10 at the beginning of the Indigo League, but by the sliding scale, by the time he gets to Sun and Moon, which is the Alola region,
Yeah.
he's got to have aged at least a year.
Yeah.
He has to. I mean, he's taller than
Yeah.
he was in that, and
He ages a little
he
bit.
has matured. His body has matured in that time period.
Right.
Misty's didn't, but we'll not go there.
No, let's not go there.
Anyway,
Anyways.
Josh says he liked Alola personally. I have nothing really against Alola other than I think it was too much of a change and I just could not get into that game. But I'm wondering now if that's more me, I won't say growing out of Pokemon, but just being done with that style of gameplay. Because I played a PS4 Digimon game that is very similar to how Pokemon works, but it's still works like Digimon does.
Yeah.
Called Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
It's a good game, but I got tired of the battling mechanics in that because I just got because the battling there is similar to how it is in Pokemon, except you can, of course, digivolve up and down as you need to.
Yeah.
But anyway, Josh says he's looking forward to that. I'm assuming Detective Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
He said TK, and I don't know what he said TK about. I don't think we brought up TK.
I think the fact that TK is kind of like a big part of this film.
Yeah, but we're still in the middle of us talking about Pokemon.
I don't know.
Maybe TK. Maybe he thinks TK is the Ash of Digimon.
Okay, maybe I guess.
I mean, really, it's Ty, but
yeah, it's,
whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, he says TK is his favorite character.
Oh,
fair enough.
That totally makes
fair
sense.
enough. Apparently Josh says he was stated to still be 10 in Unova, which would be Gen 5.
Yeah.
So somehow he went through a country virtually the size of Japan on foot in 1 year, and then got on a boat and went to the Americas, because Unova is based on New York.
Okay.
If you didn't know.
No. I kind of... Unova?
Technically it's
Unova, New York.
It's the U.S., but if you look at the map, it's like there's the two rivers that go around the island that is obviously Manhattan,
Oh, okay.
but it's America.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. And there is a desert that's not there in the real world, but still.
Right. Well, have you ever been to Vegas? It's a desert.
Yes, but it's not. Vegas is not directly behind Manhattan.
That is true.
That's the point I'm getting.
There's certain like big state called Texas.
Yes.
If
Pokemon, if y'all want to get a hold of me, I have an idea for a new Pokemon region called the Tejas region. It is Texas because it's as big as France, and you gave France a Pokemon region with Kalos. I have ideas. I have thought about it too much.
Apparently,
I even have my own Pokemon design for you.
Wow.
And it's evolutionary line. It's based off the Jackalope.
Wow. Based off the... Okay, you're going to show me this.
I don't have it drawn.
Oh, okay.
I just have it kind of designed in my head.
I might have to make that come to life. But either way.
Yes, he says TK very much needs a hug. You know what?
Yeah,
After this movie, I 100% agree
I
with
completely
you.
agree.
All right. So
And also Izzy. Everybody else.
Everybody else needs a hug.
At the end of this film, oh yeah, definitely.
Shoot the baby forms of the Digimon, despite the fact they don't know it, need a hug.
That is true.
Heck, give fake Ken a hug. Maybe not.
Yeah, no. It's like, why are you psyching us out, dude?
Anyway.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We do need to jump into this. We are an hour and 17 recording.
Wow.
Because we have gotten off topic so much tonight.
Yeah.
So, we ready to jump back into here?
Yeah.
Okay, let me bring my notes up just so I'm sure. Okay. Playing a sound effect so I can find the end of this. Thank you, Deedlet. Coming back in. The following is a spoiler-filled review for Digimon Adventure Try Part 3 Confession. If you don't want to be spoiled, you should turn us off now. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Okay. You'd think I'd have this good by now, but my brain keeps farting when I get to certain parts of that.
Phew, no wonder I smelled something.
Yeah. Much like last week, I am not listing every single person in this cast.
Thank you.
Because we will be here all stinking day. I only put in the ones where there were major changes to who people were voicing.
Right.
So there are some names we have listed before in here, but there are voicing more people in this episode.
I gotcha.
Anyway. Directed, of course, by Keitaro Motonaga, who has directed this whole thing. They did not list writers outside of the creator who created Pokemon, created Digimon. Hang on. I bet that. Yeah. It didn't list any writers other than the creator of Digimon, which was Akiyoshi Hongo. Getting into the cast, I jumped straight to Kate Higgins, who is the voice of Gatomon, Angewomon, Nyaromon, Meikumon, Maycrackmon Vicious Mode. And she was also the voice, bringing it back to your what you watched this week, Amy Mizuno, a.k.a. Sailor Mercury, in the Viz Media dub of Sailor Moon. She's also Tails in Sonic Colors.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Nimoy, who was the voice of Tentamon, Kabuterimon, Mega Kabuterimon, Hercules Kabuterimon, and Dark Genai. I'm just going to go ahead and say his name now.
Okay. Dark Genai.
Yeah.
Or Genai.
I did not write down who else he played.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, my word. Hang on. 5 seconds. 2 shakes of a Mekumon's tail.
You mean 4 shakes? Because she has 4 tails.
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 2 shakes of 4 shakes of a Mekumon's tails.
Okay.
IMDb. Jeff Nimoy. I'm not going to go the long way. I know the guy's name. Find something real quick to say he was in. I think I said Nicholas D. Wolfwood before. It's going to be something else.
You did.
Not director. I want actor. Something interesting. I usually can find this fairly quick. I didn't realize he was voices in Boba Bobo Boba Bo. Which I'm still surprised I could say that in order and not get it mixed up. Man, he is not in a whole lot. That's not Digimon. Nothing is jumping out at me. See, Digimon, Trigun. No, I'm just going to go with Nicholas D. Wolfwood. Okay. And he played Nicholas D. Wolfwood again in Trigun.
All right.
Which I just realized none of that did I mark. Okay. Colleen O'Shaughnessy was the voice of Sora Takanouchi and Mrs. Mochizuki, which was Mako's mom. And she is the voice of Tails in the movies Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2. Tara Sands was the voice of Kari Kamiya, Homeostasis, and the news reporter. And in the anime Yu-Gi-Oh!, the English version, of course, she was the voice of Mokuba.
Huh.
The little brother of Seto Kaiba and his 3 blue eyes white dragons. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Vaguely.
Because I'm just saying all these words and you're like, oh, that's that guy.
Okay. Yeah, that guy.
I'm just messing with you, dude.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Another series I don't know about. Vaguely.
He played Dr. Crawdaddy in Spider-Ham, Caught in a Ham.
Say what?
You know, the Spider-Ham short on the Blu-ray of Spider-Man.
Oh,
Into
yeah.
the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
He played Dr. Crawdaddy, the villain.
Oh,
that
okay.
Spider-Ham fought.
Okay.
I just jumped ahead because I was supposed to say Aaron LaPlante, who played Professor Mochizuki, also played Dr. Crawdaddy in Spider-Ham Caught in a Ham.
I gotcha.
Paul St. Peter was the voice of Alphamon and an IAA agent. And in the Bang Zoom dub of Dragon Ball Super, aka the Canadian dub, which is different from the American dub.
Really?
Yeah. He is the voice of Sorbet.
Sorbet?
Sorbet.
Who is Sorbet?
One of Frieza's minions.
Oh, okay. I was like, sorbet sounds like a ice cream.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
You do know all the Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it's played off
character
food.
names are puns.
Yeah, they're puns off foods.
And everyone in Frieza's employ, since the name is Freezer,
yeah,
are things that you would find in a
freezer.
So
Yeah,
sorbet.
I gathered.
It's
a nice play on words.
It's a nice. I don't know how Akira Toriyama did it. It's actually brilliant the way he handles all that, but it's also ridiculous. So instead of Kingdom Hearts connections,
really,
this time, because a lot of these would have been repeats, I changed it up.
Oh.
It is still a property a game actually, that stars Sora in it. But it's not Kingdom Hearts.
Oh.
I did Smash Brothers connections this week. Okay, so we got Charmy Lee as Biyomon, Yokomon, and Maki Himikawa in Digimon. She plays the character of Makoto Nijima and Queen from Persona 5 in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Oh, okay.
Johnny Young Bosch was the voice of TK Takashi He was the voice of Zero from Mega Man X in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Really?
Kate Higgins, who I mentioned was Gatomon, Angelwomon, Nyaromon, Meikumon, Maycrackmon Vicious Mode, is the performer of Jump Up Superstar from Super Mario Odyssey.
Really?
Which plays on the Super Mario Odyssey stage in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That one actually took me a while because I couldn't find it at first, and I just kept going through it, and I finally found it. Kirk Thornton was the voice of Gabumon, and Garurumon is the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Of course, the first game he appeared in was Sonic Adventure 2, but I believe this is the voice that started in the game Shadow the Hedgehog. The one where he has a gun and cusses. Because they were going for that E10 rating.
Yeah.
Kyle Hebert, who was the voice of Greymon, Metal Greymon, and War Greymon, is the voice of Ryu from Street Fighter in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. On the Japanese side of things, Daisuke Namikawa, who was the voice of Daigo Nishijima, is the voice of Lucario and Mimikyu from Pokemon in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Takahiro Sakurai, who was the voice of Tentomon, Kabuterimon, Mega Kabuterimon, Hercules Kabuterimon, is also the voice of Cloud Strife in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Okay. Interesting.
And that's in both versions because they did not translate Cloud or Sephiroth for the Americas for some reason. I never understood why, but that was the rule. And Yoshimasa Hosoya, who is the voice of Yamato Ishida. You know who Yamato Ishida is?
No.
That's Matt.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Is the voice
I forgot his name was Yamato.
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 It's actually Yamato in the English version, but they only call him Matt.
Yeah.
He is the voice of the male version of Robin from Fire Emblem Awakening in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Which brings us to info and stuff, my good friend.
All right. So, info and stuff. So, info and come on, don't do that to me again. This thing has a mind of its own. It's like D-Lit's getting to my pad now.
She says she certainly is not.
Okay, then.
She doesn't know. She stays off the Wi-Fi because she recognizes that even being on my computer is a bit of an annoyance, even though she can't really disconnect herself right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So,
I love how to some degree only the people who watch the live show get some of this lore because it'll get cut out.
All right. So,
well, technically the Patreon people too, but anyway.
Yeah. So, info and stuff. IMDb has a score of 7.5 out of 10. It's released there again. If you want the full info, go back to our first episode, Digimon Adventure Tri Reunion, where you get all the information where production, distribution, all that great stuff. You can go check it out over there. This movie, the third film, Confession, was released in Japan on September 24th, 2016, and North America on July 1st, 2017. It was released in Austria and Germany on August 13th, 2017. It was released on DVD and Blu-ray in Japan in November 2nd of 2016. Germany in October 30th, 2017, and the US on December 5th, 2017, and the UK in December 18th, 2017, and Australia in March 7th, 2018. Confession premiered at Anime Expo, screening on July 1st, 2017, and October 36th, 2017. Shout Factory confirmed the release of the film in 2018. So that is all I have for info stuff.
Okay. Getting into the summary.
Summarize this thing for us.
While Mako remains traumatized by Meicumon's betrayal, did she really betray or did she just kind of go nuts?
I think it came out of left field.
I think it did too.
Kind of a betrayal.
Izzy becomes irritable as he obsessively tries to determine what caused Meikumon to become infected. Meanwhile, as malfunctions begin to disrupt airlines, Himikawa and Nishijima tell Matt about their investigation, but do not disclose that Meikumon is causing the malfunctions, and that other Digidestined have gone missing. Later, TK discovers something amiss with Patamon, when he briefly acts violent and bites him. He got digi-rabies.
Yeah, I got digi-rabies. Pretty much.
TK decides to take his partner home, prompting the other Digidestined to do the same. TK eventually confesses to Mako that Patamon is infected. Unbeknownst to TK, Patamon is already aware of this and tearfully asks TK to stop him should the worst happen.
Good scene.
The next day, as Patamon informs the other Digimon about his infection, Kari becomes possessed by homeostasis, who cryptically warns them that the infected Digimon could potentially destroy both the real and digital worlds unless a great sacrifice is made. Having overheard them, Himikawa concludes that homeostasis might trigger a reboot to reset the digital world, the next time Meikumon appears, in order to stop the infection. After Gautomon tells the others that this reboot would also cause them to lose all their memories, the Digimon prepare for the worst and spend precious time with their partners, during which Agumon tells Tai about the reboot. Izzy discovers that the distortions are the result of the binary code being overwritten by a different language, and comes up with a plan after Tentomon informs him of the reboot. When Meikumon appears at the Tokyo International Exhibition Center, the Digidestined attempt to keep her out of the real world and trap her in a digital distortion. Meikumon responds by digivolving into Meicrackmon. Despite TK's attempts to stop him, Patamon digivolves to become Angemon and enters the fray, but is overcome by his infection, which soon spreads to the other Digimon. When the countdown for the reboot begins, Izzy reveals his countermeasure before the clock strikes 0. The partner Digimon must be placed inside a field containing their backup data in order to preserve their memories. As Tentomon struggles with helping the others while fighting off his own infection, he digivolves into Hercules Kabuterimon, captures Meicrackmon, and snaps the Digimon out of their infection before using all his strength to push them back into the distortion before the reboot occurs. 1 week later, Mako tells TK the infection originated 6 years ago from Meikumon. Using the power of their crest, the Digidestined travel to the rebooted digital world, where they briefly encounter Alphamon fighting Jessmon. They soon reunite with their partner Digimon, who rarely befriend them despite having lost their memories. Nearby, Himikawa confronts the Digimon Emperor, who is revealed to resemble Genai, but with a black outfit. Meikumon is seen hiding behind a bush, still possessing her memories of Mako. That is the summary.
Yeah.
There is no trivia this week because the only trivia I found I saved for our trivia question.
All right.
So, I'm going to start off with one of the things that I liked about this film.
Yeah.
This is a hard film to watch, even though I was kind of already freshly calloused from from playing Final Fantasy 14 this week.
Right.
This is actually, there's a lot of this that was actually tough to watch. Was not affected as much as, they wanted. Like I said, I had already been freshly calloused, but I still like that they took the time to tell this serious part of the story, because as much as this is made for the adult fans of Digimon, this is still a kid's show.
Right.
This is still designed in such a way that kids can watch this along with their their parents who saw the original show as a kid.
Yeah, the adult fans.
And want to share this. And I like that aspect of it, but this movie, while there is still some lighter moments, we do get this dark overarching dark theme across the entire movie.
Yeah.
That while yes, it is hard to watch as someone who is, at least gotten enough invested from these characters from the other two movies. They did not have to go this dark, and like I said earlier in the spoiler-free section, there is no way they could have done a whole arc of this if this were a television show. There's no way that would have happened. This only works because it's a movie. The fact that there's these movies were not all released like one right after each other. They were like at least a couple months in between each release, I believe.
Right.
And they were allowed people to sit on this at least for a couple months before having to deal with, okay, we're going to move on. And hopefully we get to I'm saying hopefully we get a lighter story next time, because I don't like to stay down in the dumps too long.
Right.
This one does kind of keep us down there for a while. but I appreciate that they respected their audience enough to do
Mhm.
this sadder story before we go into the next part.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
my first like is that we actually get a sad story in what is essentially a kids cartoon.
Yeah, pretty much. My first like would definitely be the very tender scene between TK and Patamon.
Mm-hmm.
And the the thing that got me was the fact that like you have Johnny Young Bosch and the voice actors who played Patamon, which was Laura Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Just killed it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It'd be like you have be like it's obviously Laura Summer played the original Patamon, but they have Johnny Young Bosch who is playing TK in this movie. And
Because you can't have the original TK voice this version anymore. I mean, I think that a young lady played TK in the original,
yeah, they actually tried to get her to do it, but apparently they didn't want her to do it.
or she didn't want to do it, and I don't know if that would have worked with him being older now.
Yeah, but at the same time, like watching an interview over this, apparently she wanted to do it, but the studio didn't want her to do it.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe they were thinking the same thing about being older character. They wanted it to be played by a male, so they have a deeper voice. I don't know. I'm guessing here.
Yeah, I think I made a mistake when I said that. I think it was she wanted to do it, but she had prior obligations. She couldn't do the role. I think that's what it was.
That could be possible too.
Yeah. So this scene where if you watched anything Digimon prior to this, definitely with season 1, you have that TK lost Patamon when they defeated what's his name? Crap. Either way, they
Devimon.
Yeah, Devimon. They
just kind of guessed.
Yeah, they defeated Devimon because Angemon sacrificed himself and then he became an egg again.
Yeah.
So you
It was
have
the first time we saw Angemon, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's the first time you see him, and so you get that arc, and then you go into season 2 where TK is
Arc 2, not season 2.
Yeah, season 2. You get into season 2.
Or you're talking about the second DigiDestined group.
Yes.
That they're in. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, Digimon season 2 or 02.
I jumped ahead because I was thinking you were going into the stuff that happened immediately after Angemon sacrificing himself. But that's not where you were going. So,
No,
sorry.
No, because TK in season 2 he's so concerned about Patamon because he knew what happened late, in the first season because he remembers it. So more often not in episodes where you have TK, he's worried about Patamon. So in this one, they follow that up with TK realizing something's wrong with Patamon.
Mm-hmm.
So he brings Patamon home with him, and you get this very heart-to-heart moment where Patamon is being Patamon, and he's being honest and be like, hey, this is okay. Be like, hey, if I go bad, you're gonna take me down. Like, it's gonna be okay. And it's just like, my heart went thump. I was like, oh, jeez. And just keep cranking it.
It may be okay, but it shouldn't have to be okay.
Yeah, exactly. And like Patamon's, his total, it's like, it's okay. Be like, if I go bad, you guys need to take me out. It'll be perfectly fine because I'm family.
Yeah.
And it's just like, ow, Patamon, stop hitting my heart. Ow, this hurts. And it's just like that performance was so right on, spot on about everything in that entire from start to finish. Definitely when you get Patamon, he goes gets a bit of Digimon. What did you say earlier? Oh,
Digirabies?
Yeah, I got Digirabies, as you called it earlier.
They never gave this thing a name.
No, they didn't. They just kept it. They made it a virus. But yeah, he got Digirabies, and so like that entire thing was just like incredible between these two characters. And it'd be like if you know the history of these two characters, and it's like, wow, this is really good. And I was just like, man, this is good. This is really, really, really very well told storytelling. And there again, Digimon is not the biggest series on the planet because there again it got eclipsed by Pokemon. Because
in Digimon's defense, it it did not have a best-selling game to promote it.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
It did the best it could under the circumstances.
Yeah. What?
I mean, it's like saying, "Gosh darn it, Animaniacs couldn't survive Mickey Mouse
True.
or something." I was
Yeah,
trying
that
to
is
think
true.
of something.
But either way. So I thoroughly enjoy these two characters. The arc in which these two have gone through and progressed into, or digivolved into, has been very memorable. And so I was very like, wow, they went that far with it. And it's like, wow, the idea that Patamon's totally fine if he goes dark. It'd be like if he becomes succumbs to the virus, he's totally fine with his friends taking him out because he wants his family to be okay. And I was just like, there was a moment there, be like, I'm gonna cry watching this little orange puffball, talk about sacrificing himself in order to save his friends. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. You got moved by a little Digimon. So yeah, that scene, that whole there again when he's talking to the other Digimon and his explanation what's going on, be like calmly, rationally, not just be like frantic. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this calmly. Character. I'm like, wow, chops on character writing and depth. Wow. So yeah, it's my number one. What's yours?
My number two in this is the fact that Mimi was right.
Okay.
You know what I'm referring to?
Enlighten me.
At the end of the last one at
Okay.
the festival,
Yeah.
Mimi had designed these
Outfits. Yeah.
outfits, these the daters cheerleader outfits.
Yes.
But but the other girls besides Mako and her did not want to wear them.
Yeah.
Well, what's this thing start with? The girls said, "Man, we should have wore those things Mimi designed. That
Yeah.
would have been fun. Oh, yeah, I guess we'll do that next year."
Yeah.
It's like, you jerks. I recognize the reason this was done was because Mimi needed to get over the fact that she was, narcissistic.
Yeah.
Because that's part of her story. And I like that they covered that. But they should have, if you're going to do the next, if you're going to do that, you don't say next episode. You shouldn't say, I like it and I don't like it is the weird
Oh,
thing
okay.
here.
It's kind of a double too.
I like that she was right, that she actually knew what was going to sell. And the other girls did not realize that until after the festival.
Okay.
But to some degree, it's like, you could have left this part out and I would not have, it would not mess with me any.
Yeah.
But I like that they included this. Like, yeah, Mimi was right. Y'all, I'm not saying this in any strange way. It's just like, yeah, y'all should have you should have believed in the girl who obviously knows fashion
Yeah.
and not just, be jerks about it. But like I said, I understand why they did that for that episode, which is why I liked it.
Yeah.
It's just now it's like, okay, yeah, you girls are just jerks.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
But yeah, that's my second like.
All
Mimi
right.
was right.
Mimi was right. So going to my second like. My second like would actually be the explanation of the reboot. The reboot and Kari being possessed by
A server
a server.
somewhere.
Yeah, pretty much. That
I want more explanation on homeostasis, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because that I get the feeling if once we understand the explanation on what homeostasis is, actually explains how this digital world thing actually works.
well, they actually do. They
I
actually.
know it's been explained.
Yeah,
but it's never been explained to my liking.
Yeah, they arcing back to it when season 1 because Kari did the exact same thing in season 1, and they're like, oh, she's the special or something like that kind of thing, and she's being used as a voice box for a being. They never explain who it is, but homeostasis apparently is that character.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that part because okay, they arcing back to the first season 1 of Digimon or Digimon Adventure.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed that. The fact that like the idea there a sacrifice has to be made. This idea that they can reboot everything, they can reboot the digital world in order to protect the real world.
Yeah.
Because if Mekuman comes into the real world, can start the reboot, and if it starts, it can basically erase everything. If Mekuman is not shoved back into the digital world. And I love that, the fact to be like the Digimon, are aware of this, even though they are, being, corrupted by the virus. There is the moment where Hercules Kabuterimon snaps him out of it for the moment, and they all push Meikumon, or what is her? Crackmon, back into the digital world, and willingly sacrifice their own memories in order to save their friends. And I was like, bravo. Amazing. There again, amazing storytelling. Like over and over again with this movie series is just incredible. Like, whoa, okay, that's cool. All right, so yeah, that's my number 2. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is one scene in particular.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. You know as well as I do that at watching Digimon, you like all the Digidestined.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to be honest with you. The last 2 movies, I was sitting there going, I know I used to like Matt. But I can't tell you at the moment why I liked Matt. He's one of those characters who's too cool to be worth hanging around.
Right.
He's very annoying in his coolness here. Not because he's, putting in everyone's face, but he's just very like, well, and he's in Ty's face so much in that first movie.
Yeah.
About, we've got to do this. And he's not really paying attention to the fact that Ty is having to deal with the fact that, or Ty is dealing with the fact that he's now not sure if doing this is the right thing because of all the destruction that's occurring. In the abandoned warehouse district of the of Tokyo. Yeah. Or wherever this is taking place. I think it's Tokyo. Because I think I recognize the place where they went into the digital world at. Yeah. From, ironically, Super Sentai. But the scene in particular is when Gabumon?
Yeah, Gabumon.
Gabumon. So yeah, my brain farted again. Gabumon walks in on Matt while he's practicing and just asks him, or he's just talking generally, and says, "Hey Matt, could you play something on the harmonica?"
Yeah, that was touching. Oh my gosh.
And at first, Matt says, I'm practicing. No, that's fine. And he's just fine listening to it. And then finally Matt realizes
gets frustrated.
Realizes something is not right, and I need to be here for Gabumon. Mm-hmm. And sets his guitar down. Yeah. And picks up the harmonica. And yeah, he's just essentially needling on the harmonica, for lack of a better term. Yeah. Or noodling on the harmonica is the word. But it's like, a part of that just hit me. It's like, okay, I remember why I like you, because, yeah, you are too cool for school. Mm-hmm. But underneath that, and not very far underneath that, you are as much of a dork as anybody else. Oh, yeah. And you really do care for all these people. It's very easy to forget this sometimes because of how, focused he gets on stuff. But at the end of the day, even though he knows he needs to practice on his guitar and he really should focus on that, he knows that. Yeah. Especially since he's got to play the he plays, his band is the one playing in the outro song for this movie. Mm-hmm. I figured out. Really? Yeah, it's actually credited to Knife of Day. As the song is.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know he's got to practice for the credits of this movie. Right. But he knows, it's like, yeah, I need to practice, but something's got Gabumon distressed, and he asked me for this. Yeah. So I'm going to do the friend. It's not going to hurt me to do it. So he pulls out and he just plays, and it's like, oh, I remember why I like you. Mm-hmm. Because for a while there, I didn't. Yeah,
Matt's one of those characters. Be like, he cares, but he's too cool for school to show it.
And the thing is normally I think the way it showed in the show for me was how he dealt with TK. Yeah, but he and TK have not done much together this series. Yeah,
throughout either any try so far.
Yeah, except
even
for
this one where where TK is going through this hard stuff with Patamon. They don't really have that many scenes together.
Yeah.
So him showing this care and love for
Yeah.
Gabumon is like, okay, I remember why I like you. And then of course they go through all the other scenes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. I see you're trying to make me feel bad, or not fat, but you're trying to make me have me feel the despair by showing these last happy moments for these characters.
Mhm.
As far as the Digimon are concerned,
Yeah.
because they know they're about to have to leave
Mm-hmm.
in order to save them. And I'm still sitting there going, Agumon, shut up. You're causing more issues by telling Ty about everything. And besides, you're more worried about eating than actually keeping up with what was going on. So you probably aren't even going to explain it right because you're Agumon.
Right.
But I was like, but it starts off with that scene with Matt and Gabumon. It's like, okay, I remember why I like you now.
Yeah. Kind of like a side tangent on that whole point where all the Digimon are trying to get in those last minutes, those last times with their partners. The one that got me a little bit more was more like when Kari and Gatomon, because they're going to the mall, because that's what some people do. They go to the
Yeah.
mall, and Gatomon is just so insistent about, hey, let's take a picture, hey, let's do this, because she wants to have those moments,
Yeah.
those memories.
Hey, let's get an ice cream.
Yeah, let's get an ice cream, something like that. And that
Despite the fact she's supposed to be pretending to be a stuffed doll, and stuffed dolls can't eat ice
Scream.
cream, but whatever.
oh, she's a
It's
cat.
it's a precious moment anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I found that very, very sweet, because you could tell, be like the way they animated Gatomon. She's being Gatomon, but not.
Yeah.
There was that sense of urgency. We got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. It's like Kari's like, okay. I'd be like, I don't quite get what's going on, but
Because of the Digimon, Gatomon is the only one who actually knows what it's like to lose.
yeah, exactly.
Because she lost Wizardmon.
Yeah, Lost Wizardmon.
And this is one of those few... Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Up until... When Gatomon is technically a villain
yeah,
in the original show, she's fairly mature for who she is.
yeah, exactly.
Especially when you consider when she gets to be, like the rest of the Digimon Digidestined,
Yeah.
whatever the term is.
yeah,
And she gets to be more, fun loving. We got a quick return to her more serious side.
yeah,
But she's doing her best not to show that she's being serious.
yeah, and trying
because
not to scare Kari.
Because she doesn't want to scare Kari.
Yeah,
But we're still getting this. Yeah, we got to do all this stuff because we got to have fun, and we only have a short amount of time. And I'm doing my best not to let you see the fact that I know what's happening and what's going to happen.
yeah.
But I still know, and I can, and it's just very. Sorry, I jumped in on yours.
No,
again,
you're
but
good. You're good. Be like good points. Yeah, just
She's the only one who really knows what it's like to lose because she's the only one
Yeah.
who suffered.
agreed.
Of the Digimon, she's the only one that really suffered.
Yeah, agreed.
What the other Digimon are going through right now for the first time
Yeah,
is the fact that they're going to lose their friends and they know they have to sacrifice, and that's very hard for them, knowing that they're going to lose all their memories.
yeah, and also kind of going back to my first point of like TK lost Patamon.
Yeah.
Even though it was maybe brief, but they lost each other.
But
So-
Patamon didn't lose TK.
No, TK lost him.
But that was a moment of courage for
Yeah,
Patamon. Patamon
exactly.
didn't have time to feel loss.
No.
In that instance, because he went from Patamon to Angemon. He went and fought Devimon.
Mhm.
And it's literally like, I think the last 10 minutes of the episode when
Yeah.
that happens. He doesn't have time because he's going in there and doing the fight.
Right.
He may have, if he experienced anything, he had to push it down in order to have the courage to go fight Devimon.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really remember the feeling of loss
Yeah.
that TK remembers.
Yeah.
But I do like how you pointed out that TK is one of the ones who knows that loss probably
Yeah.
better than anybody
Yeah,
else. And
knows
that's
loss.
why he's one of the main focuses of the story, because he's actually going to lose Patamon again.
Yeah.
And this time, Patamon's not going to remember him.
Yeah. That's yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Man, this is a hard
I
movie.
jumped in on you
This
again.
is hard. I'd be like, yeah, no, don't. Yeah, good points. Good points. Yeah, this is a hard movie to watch. Definitely if you're a fan of the show, like I am. And it's like, oh, geez, turn the knife on me. Eesh.
Like I said, I And that's the thing. You're saying all this. This was hard for you to watch. It was hard for me to watch, but I was still freshly callous.
Yeah, that is true.
From having my heart drugged through the mud.
Yeah.
At the end of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, and having to deal with that much despair, and me having to say, "Will somebody please hug this girl right now?" I may have to fight her in a couple minutes, but if this would all be saved if one of you would just go hug her. Sorry, I might have a few pent up thoughts.
Yeah, understood.
But
Been there, done that.
But even with that fresh callousness, this still affected me, I guess, in ways I didn't realize until we started talking.
Yeah.
I go, oh yeah, they actually put a lot of thought into this. This is, I can't imagine what this would be like for a 12-year-old to watch.
Yeah.
And actually have to work through the feelings that this is actually
because that's what Digimon does well. It does incredibly well. Is you get these deep character moments where characters willingly make sacrifices in order for their partner to live on, and I find that very touching. And you have these great character moments, great character arts. That's what I love about Digimon. Yeah. So yeah. All right, so
the end of your likes?
No, actually, my third like is the Return to the Digital World, is where they've there again remind me very briefly on how they return to the digital world, because they're trying to figure it out, and the
use of Black D3.
Yeah, a Black D3 is like, where in the world did you get that? Did you get it from Ken?
Well, he's the one who had the Black D3.
Yeah, that's true.
I double checked it because I was curious myself.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, in episode 2, like, why did Meiku's Digivice go black? Only one place that happens. But either way, it's just like that. Like, they get back to the digital world, and they just so happen to run into their Digimon, and that's just that scene where they run into each other, and it's just like, oh crap, they don't remember. And it's just like, they like each character goes up to their own Digimon, and it's like, who are you? And it's like, ow, like, this really affected everything. It's like,
especially when those Digimon were looking forward to them at the beginning of Digimon Adventure 1.
Yeah,
because they knew who they all were.
Yeah,
and it was the kids who were confused.
Yeah,
now everything's
flipped. It's reversed. The kids know who they are, but the Digimon don't.
Yeah,
except for Meikumon,
who's didn't turn back into whatever the earliest form is.
Baby form.
Baby form. She's still Meiku.
But at least
But at least she doesn't look as infected as she was before.
That is true.
So that'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah, because the infection apparently went away when they rebooted.
We hope.
I have my suspicions it isn't.
It's considering there's 3 more episodes, either the infection went away,
or it's something much darker.
Worse is coming, and we'll have to explain where the infection came from and who's behind it all. I'm assuming it's Dark Genai.
I have my theories.
But we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Dislikes? Because I have one that's bugged me ever since I saw the scene.
Okay. So one that I came to mind.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
Okay. All right, sorry.
I was introducing it and you just went right into it.
All right, sorry. But my number one dislike was it dawned on me when we're talking about this. It's like, wait a minute. So you go back to Digimon Season 2 or Digimon 02. Is the Japanese name. So you have the Dark Ocean. The Dark Ocean episode where Kari slips into the Dark Ocean world. And that reminds me, there's where she goes in the digital world alone without Gatomon, because Gatomon can't follow her.
Smooth move.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'd be like the Dark Ocean has a lot to do with like depression and suppressed emotions and that kind of stuff. And so there's a scene later on in where the Dark Ocean reappears, and Gatomon says something very poignant, that she'd be like, I thought I lost Kari to this, Be like, it was this fear that she was going to lose Kari to the Dark Ocean, which I had my theory about this movie series about the Dark Ocean. So we'll get there when we get there. But so when we were talking about the moments where the Digidestined or the Digimon are trying to get in those last moments with their partners.
Yeah.
So the idea that Gatomon is like, she's a little nervous, but she's playing everything cool.
Mm-hmm.
My thought would have been, it's like, okay, she's literally lost Kari once.
Mm-hmm.
And this fear that she's going to lose her again, it'd be like, you think it would be more overwhelming. I understand where she's wanting to, spend more time with and be, have girl time together. But it was, to me, it would have been more poignant if Gatomon would have been more frantic.
Mm-hmm.
Because with that previous statement, what happened in Opposites Attract, that's the episode name, the American dub. So, my thought would have been like Gatomon would have been a little more frantic. Like her anxiety would have got more because, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose Kari again. This can't happen. So I was kind of disappointed they didn't go there, but I understand where they're kind of going with this. I hope they're going this direction because obviously it's the internet. You run to what people say about it. So,
well, I've been trying not to.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to, but
I don't know. I've been succeeding fairly well.
There again, I have my theories where this whole virus came from and how a certain Digivice went black and a certain Digimon went, wild or went savage. So I have my theories on that. But I was a little more. I was kind of like, really, Gatomon is. She's not like overreacting and just scared to lose Kari because she lost her once. Or she almost lost her to the Dark Ocean. So that was I was kind of slightly disappointed they didn't really play into that. I really wish they would, because that was a really good story beat that never went anywhere. And it drove me nuts. So I understand they do that story does kind of play in a little bit into this movie, but they should have played it a little bit more. Just play that card a little bit more.
I don't know how you get at them going into an ocean as in the way this movie is set up, but okay.
But more reference to.
I still don't know how you work that into the story. So.
Yeah, but either way.
Because that's a lot to explain to people who don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure not part of the reason I suspect that they have focused on the season 1 cast and left the season 2 cast, lost somewhere.
Yeah.
This is the fact that they know the Digimon Adventure 1 cast was bigger than the Digimon Adventure 2 cast.
That is true.
Not the cast, the audience.
The audience was bigger. I agree. I completely agree. And I think just as like a deep cut, they could have went there. And I think it was a slight disappointment they didn't. But yeah,
I'll also point out that I have still, in many ways, despite your description, I still have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, I'd be
so
like,
I don't know how it works in.
All right, I will send you the link on a Hulu thing. Either way. So it was my first dislike. They didn't really do a deep, not a like a serious dive into it, and I was like, oh, you're gonna do that.
Well,
but
I mean,
either or,
you've got like 8 other characters.
That is true.
Pairs of characters to work with. You don't really have a lot of time.
That is
and
true.
You still have to have a fight for them to go to the Digiworld, and then you still have to have them go to the Digiworld, even though, admittedly, I don't know how the next one starts.
Right.
But they could have, admittedly, put that part at the end, maybe did what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of, you still have to make a movie out of this.
I agree. I completely agree.
You can't go off too far one direction. But anyway.
That is true.
Anyways,
so that's one of my dislikes of this film.
My dislike,
nitpick.
My main dislike for this film. I say main. To some degree, this is a nitpick also.
Yeah.
Their explanation for the corruption that's going on.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a lick of sense the way they explain it.
Okay.
If you know anything about computer science.
Okay. Well, can you explain that?
I will. I nearly said TK. That is not Izzy's name.
Yeah, Izzy.
Izzy explains that essentially the data is getting overwritten, basically.
Yeah.
And they show it by changing a 1 or a 0 to 2. He says it's not. He specifically states the data is not binary.
Mm-hmm.
It is not decimal, and is not hexadecimal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you know what those three words mean?
Kind of.
Okay. Simple is referring to counting methods.
Yeah.
So binary is what's known as base 2, meaning you only have 0 and 1
One?
as digits to choose from.
Right.
So 0 is 0, 1 is 1, 2 is 1 0,
Mm-hmm.
3 is 1 1,
Mm-hmm.
so on,
So
forth. To you're trying to write out 123 with like 3,000 characters.
Yeah.
Decimal is, of course, the one we know where it's base 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You repeat to 11,
Yeah.
where you write down 1 1. Hexadecimal, even more confusing, has 16 characters to choose from its counting method.
Okay.
So once you get past the numbers of 0 through 9, you then go into A, B, C, D, E, and F.
Okay.
So really, once you hit 11, you go A, 12 is B, C is 13, 14 is D, 15 is E, and 16 is F, and then you go back to, actually, that's at that point you go to 1-0 for 17.
Yeah.
Now, as confusing as all that is, because
Yeah.
admittedly, I barely know this. What they show is, when they're showing all this and trying to explain it, they don't show, they only show binary.
Okay.
And they show the binary number being changed from a 1 to a 2, which technically would not exist in binary.
Okay.
Now, I understand what they're actually trying to say here.
Yeah.
And that the numbers are in an incompatible format. It is in a technology wholly separate from the way our computers work with binary. Because all our computers work with binary.
Right.
It's just, it's ways to translate it up to stuff that we understand and can see as all these different characters and letters and video and audio and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I understand what they're trying to say is that this is not the data that's overriding the Digimon. The reason we can't see it is because it's not based in a binary counting system at a fundamental binary programming level.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on something else, and it's not an easily understood thing like decimal or hexadecimal, even though computers are not at the machine level,
Yeah.
are only in binary.
Yeah.
But, and I'm getting a little off topic to some degree, but I know what they're trying to say is like, this is a different technology than binary.
Right.
At the machine level, to the point where Izzy's computer cannot read the data, which is what they're trying to say, but have gone way too technobabbly for it to make any sense.
Okay.
That messed me up since I saw it.
Okay.
I'm only just now working through it
Okay.
as I'm talking here, because it's like you say all these three technical computer words that are correct.
Yeah.
That is used in programming. I mean, you've dealt with a computer dealing with the digital colors,
Yeah.
where you had to type in like a 6-digit code to come up with the color for like 09 A, B, something.
Yeah.
Other. That's hexadecimal.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
the way it's set up, it's like it's 6 different hexadecimal things. The first 2 being red, the middle 2 being referring to green, and the last 2 being blue. That's hexadecimal, but that is still translating to a binary number that is those digits down at a machine level.
Yeah.
The way they put the machine level and the higher programming level at the same level is not how it works. But that's how they explain it. Now, admittedly, you're trying to explain that this is different on a fundamental level to people who don't know anything about computer science at all. You have to assume they don't,
Right.
because most of the people who are watching it probably have never had to deal with what is he's talking about.
Right.
And try to explain, this is not what our computers are based on. This is based on something else, but it's showing up on the data.
Mm-hmm.
Now, already, Digilore on how the digital world and the computers work and how all that interacts with our computers is iffy at best in how it makes sense. You almost have to go, it's Digimagic, accept it, and move on.
Right.
But they tried to explain too far into this, explaining that's all this. You could have just said, it's in a format I don't understand, and that's all he had to say. But they tried to over-explain it, and I have a feeling the guy who wrote this wrote down. Well, it's the old adage about how they used to write Star Trek: The Next Generation episodes when they needed a super technical explanation of what was going on, but the writer didn't know any of the science behind it.
Yeah.
He would write, Captain, the tech is teching. well, can we untech the tech? So this is how they would write, because tech would be a stand-in word for all the technical jargon.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's how this was wrote. It's like, this isn't tech. This isn't even tech. This isn't even tech. It's kind of how I expect this.
Yeah.
This script had to have been
I
written.
gotcha.
And then they sent it off to somebody who knew something about computer science, and they wrote down, it's not binary, decimal, or hexadecimal. And I'm sitting there going, did this guy even read the script? Because this doesn't make any sense. All you had to say was, it's in a format that we can't understand in the time allotted to us. It's in an unknown format. That's how it's corrupting. And I would have been fine with this explanation. But they went too far and went down too many holes.
Okay.
Anyway, calming back down. I did take a class in computer programming. That's why I know some of this.
Ah.
I say a class. I took a lot of classes in high school that were meant to get me into computer programming until I remembered, oh yeah, I suck at math. And now the only thing I use is hexadecimal for colors.
Ah. Gotcha.
But I know how it works. Anyway, your second dislike.
My second dislike, now granted, it'd be like the kind of disappointment they didn't go a little deeper in lore for the first one. This one was more, huh? Okay, so let me explain that, huh? So,
Yeah, I'm curious what the "huh" refers
here's
to.
what the huh means for. Okay, so we go and see in movie 2, apparently the Digimon Emperor shows up. It's Ken, but it doesn't look like Ken. We're like, huh? What's going on? Because in the first movie, we saw what we assume was Ken fall, and his Digivice fell to the ground. Which, there again, how did they get the Digivice to D3 in the terminal for they can go to the digital world? I don't get
It's
how they...
Digimagic. Move on.
Either way.
That's what I'm going to say from now on. It's Digimagic.
It's
Move on.
It's Digimagic. So then at the end of this episode, this is in the movie, we get the reveal. Okay, it's not Ken. It's actually
this guy you've never seen before.
well, technically
I know technically we have seen Genai before.
Genai.
Sorry. I know
Genai. They say him Genai.
yeah,
Genai.
I know
whichever.
we've seen the character before.
Yeah.
I Googled him because I was curious because I remembered seeing the character before.
Yeah.
And he's an old man.
Well,
A
technically,
comically drawn old man.
I agree with you. That's in season 1, but in season 2,
Which I didn't watch.
yeah, season 2, they actually
much.
They do bring in a younger Genai.
Okay.
So
that's who this guy is supposed to be.
He's based off that character, except he's wearing dark clothing instead of
Which
white
is
clothing.
why they're calling him Dark Genai.
Instead of Dark
or
Genai.
whoever his character
So
name is.
there again, it's not
So
really.
it's like, is there another light Genai around here somewhere?
I don't know, but either way, it'd be like
I
it's,
mean, just-
okay.
It's either you either call him just Genai, or you have to say that dark implies there's a white or light version
Yeah.
somewhere. Sorry.
Yeah. So either way, this idea, this dark Genai shows up because he's supposed to be this duplicate Ken as the Digimon Emperor,
But not the digital man.
but not the Digimon Emperor or the Digimon Kaiser.
I mean, they even changed his hair from blue to black and
Yeah.
long to short.
Yeah.
It's like, that's an interesting
Well,
Digisguise.
Well, my theory going into it is like, oh, okay. Ever since they've redesigned things a little bit, so they redesigned the Digimon Emperor, the Digimon
Yeah, they
Kaiser.
updated his
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah, they even have his crest on his glasses there,
And
which
it's obviously supposed to make you think, and make them, people who are seeing him, think, oh, it's Ken.
yeah, it's Ken. It's like what happened? So
Why is he evil? It's like, oh, it's because he's not evil. It's not actually him.
yeah, it's actually a dark version of Genai. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Who are you? So I was just more left with the question is like, who is this guy? So there again, we're gonna learn who that is in 4, I think,
I assume.
assumingly. But it was leading up to like, huh? What the world's going on? And our favorite female agent's like, what? What in the world's going on? And okay, so yeah.
Deedlit says she hates her.
Yeah.
It's like, because she is one of the most annoying characters. It's like, are you good or are you bad?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do something.
Yeah, please. All right, so yeah, that was my second dislike.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Okay. My second dislike, this movie doesn't know where to end.
Okay.
Now, granted, I understand you want to end on a happier note and getting to the digital world and catching back up with your Pokemon or your Digimon.
Pokemon!
Your Digimon.
Wrong series!
Sorry. Catching back up with your Digimon
Right.
is a good ending, but the thing is, it ends like 10 minutes into the next episode, essentially.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate to say this. It would have been better to end on the sacrifice
Mm.
and then start the next one with the 1 week later and go to the digital world then.
That would
I
have.
personally think that would have been a better wrap up to the story. I know it leaves you in the dark for the people who are watching this, as they're releasing it.
But it's a good
3 or 4
strategy to lead into the next
But that's
one.
a good way. It's like, now, admittedly, you might lose some people. It's like, well, this just went dark. I guess this is the end of Digimon. But that's why you do a better teaser as to what's coming, not just do an extra 20 minutes to get you into the digital world and then stop while things are starting to get enticing to get you into the next thing. It's like, no, this is actually the end of the movie. And you're like, and because I'm still sitting there going, this has nothing to do with the movie I just watched, other than they don't remember their partners.
Yeah.
That's all this has connected. And oh yeah, Meikumon still has her memories of Mako, obviously, because she's still Meikumon.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't see her baby form.
Yeah.
I know this is me being picky, but I just wanted it to be tell this story, stay dark, get lighter next movie.
Okay.
Don't try to give me just crack of dawn, leading into the next story and then stop as the story's getting started. Because that's what happens.
Right.
It's stopping right when we caught back up with them. There's a battle going on behind us between Alphamon and Jessmon.
Jessmon. Yeah.
Okay. So you got that going on. What does that have to do with the price of corn? We don't know. That doesn't get answered. We get a quick scene with the evil. I'm not going to say evil, but the fake Ken, the Dark Jedi, and the agent who we don't like. It's like, okay, obviously there's something iffy going on there. We see the shot of Meikumon, and then we see, and that's just where it ends. It's like you're in the middle of another story already. Don't stop here. Stop 10 minutes ago. When it's like, give us a hint. Really, okay. I say end where in the dark.
Yeah.
Don't end in the dark. End with them going to the digital world as soon as they teleport. End the movie there.
Okay.
And start the next movie in the digital world.
That makes sense.
Because then you've got your lead. It's like, okay, we are going to save our friends.
Yeah.
That's your ray of hope you end on.
Yeah.
Don't do me another 10 minutes of going around the digital world and getting lost and going, oh yeah, look, this is just exactly how we remember it. It's like, don't do that. That's just... You're ending on the wrong foot. You had a good ending with them going to the digital world because that was a big excitement. And if it would have cut there and gone straight to the credits, I would be fine. But that's not where. But it ended 10 minutes later. And it's like, you cut into the beginning of the next movie.
Right.
Don't do that. That's bad layout. Anyway.
Yeah, I understand why they wanted to get to where the Digidestin meet up with their digital Digimon partners.
Yeah.
To where they don't remember each other. And I thought I thought it was a good point. I agree with you. They should have cut it short and left that into the next
That would have been a good
episodes or movie.
Because imagine this: you start the next one. Obviously, the next one's going to be a bit brighter, and you start that next one with the showing shots of the fight between Jessmon and Alphamon. While you got Digimon, Digital Monsters, Digimon. And you're going to that. It's like, that's a cool opening.
Yeah, I agree with
and
you.
we lost that because you had to go show us that the other Digimon don't remember their partners. Like, we know that part already. Just show them going there and being that the pump. It's like, you gotta get ready for the next movie because you gotta see what happened when they got to the digital world.
Uh-huh.
No, you didn't do that.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
It's poor pacing and poor layout. Because you can tell they went into this with a laid out 6-chapter arc
Yeah.
for this, and they put the chapter separator between 3 and 4 in a slightly in the wrong spot.
Okay.
Anyway,
I get it. I totally get it.
admittedly, I
I
could
totally see it as a layout.
admittedly, when I put in disc 4, it could start at a point where it's like, okay, yeah, you had to put that back there because you didn't really fit in at the beginning of this. I admit that can happen,
Yeah.
but if that happens, that is poor writing.
Yeah.
Not doing that in a way that it makes sense. So anyway, sorry,
No, you're good.
but yeah, this movie didn't know where to end. What's your next
Yeah, I agree.
dislike? Because I forgot what number we're on.
3.
Your third dislike.
My theory is like, would be. Granted, this is more of a nitpick. Understanding you want to keep the mystery alive of what's going on, definitely for other characters. But when you have this secret agency, this government agency who knows what's going on, and you're not telling your main characters, be like, at least inform them a little bit. You know about the reboot. You know all of this stuff.
You just finally got annoyed with what annoyed me in the first one. Shady government agency not telling anybody anything.
Oh, I totally get it, but I didn't understand. Well, I wasn't privy to them knowing everything going
Especially
forward.
when you realize, oh, the one guy who's willing to tell the kids stuff
Yeah,
doesn't know anything.
yeah, he absolutely knows nothing.
And they know that, so they keep him in the dark.
Yeah,
And I'm sitting there going, I have my suspicions of who shady government agency is. And I'm sitting there going, boy, y'all must have got along great as kids. Not to give anything away.
ah,
I'd have my suspicions.
okay, I got it.
I'm just saying Daigo may be the tie of another group.
Okay,
That's all I'm saying.
okay,
The Ty and Davis of another group. The goggle wearer.
oh, okay, okay. I'm not following.
If I explain more, I may give something away
Okay,
because I'm basing this off of an accidental entry I saw on the Digimon Wiki doing my research.
Oh,
and this is
okay.
the
Well,
only
never mind.
And this is the only connection I have to it. And I have no idea if it's true because I'm smart enough not to click that link.
okay, good deal.
But when you see the word, when you saw the 2 words I did,
Mhm.
and thought that's a connection somewhere, and you after you watch, I was like, okay, I think I know what's about to happen, but I will wait to see if that's what's happening.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, either way. So you have this, government agency. They know everything is going on, but you're keeping our characters in the dark for they can learn on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand, be like, you're a government agency. You want to keep your secrets close to the vest. But when you're dealing with teenagers and preteens with, their what they do can save the world, you should give them info. You should, let them in on stuff. Not let them know, be like, oh, by the way, be like, oh, we know about the reboot. We know that your Digimon are getting viruses. We know we have this connection to Genai. Be like, just tell them. I understand you want to keep everything a secret, but at the same time, tell them.
I have theory,
Okay.
somewhat connected to that other theory. There is a group in there that they're actually trying to do something opposite of the right thing to do.
Mm,
But they have other ulterior motives in order to do it, and they are part of the shady government agency.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
And it just so happens that Daigo
Mm,
while he's a part of the shady government agency,
right.
he's not the kind of person who knew if what the shady government agency was doing would not approve of it.
Yeah, I agree with you
But
on that.
he's a part of the agency because he thinks it's the right thing to do,
Yeah. Okay. So
which is part of the reason I call him the Ty Davis.
I got you.
Of that group,
I gotcha.
because
He's kind of like, huh? I don't get it.
I don't get it, but this is the right thing to do. Sure, I'll go full throttle in it. Yeah, because remember, she never told anybody.
Yeah.
Well, it's always him that's actually telling the other telling the Digidestined
Mm-hmm.
what's going on, and they obviously know that he's going to do that. That's why they don't tell him anything.
Right.
I mean, he kind of already spilled the beans of what's going on because one of the first things he says to shady government lady we don't like?
Uh-huh.
I caught the kids up.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just look at it face like, why did you do that? They don't need to know. Of course they need to know. They're the
That's-
ones with the giant monsters.
Exactly.
You kind of
Oh
have
my
to tell your
gosh.
kaiju control force what they're doing.
Exactly.
You could save a lot of time.
Exactly. And just kind of a bonus thing
Except
here.
that they're actually, I think Shady Government Agency is actually going to end up being the actual antagonists.
Possibly.
That's a theory. Don't know because I've not seen the rest of it.
Okay. So
Outside of what we happened to catch while we were in the digital world, but we missed a lot of stuff.
apparently.
'Cause we were just doing our best to survive.
Yeah, exactly. And not try to get eaten by Agumon.
Greymon.
Greymon. There we go.
Agumon knows not to chew on humans. Thankfully.
Yeah, Greymon not so much.
Greymon, on the other hand, he didn't even realize we weren't food.
Yeah. So one of my there again, kind of a theory going in.
A digi theory.
Exactly, a digi theory. So, this movie is called Confession. So the fact
and it's based on the confession of Mako
of Maku.
Mako of Makumon.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
so
it is confusing with the way their names
exactly.
are similar.
I've got a theory
Mako
on that.
of Maku.
Makumon.
Makumon.
Yeah. So we have this confession moment between Maku and TK, which is like the person to do that with. So I'm thinking like, okay, my theory going into that is that Maku went somewhere she shouldn't have, or she got pulled into somewhere she shouldn't have, and that's what caused a certain virus to come about. And I was like, huh. But they didn't do that. They went like, oh, they met when she was younger, and she's had those, the red eye thing, the virus thing. I'm like, huh? But this whole setup of
Okay, but here's the thing: the Digidestined from the show,
yeah,
they had a connection before they met.
yeah,
That's part of the whole reason for the first part of the Digimon the movie. That whole first short that they edited in there.
yeah. It's the same way they do with Maku and
Right.
Makumon.
And there is obviously some shadiness involving her father.
Yeah, agreed. And
I've
I've got a theory on that
Digimon. He was apparently a Digimon researcher before they were actually saying Digimon existed in reality. It's like, and if it existed because of the introduction of computer technology, which is my understanding of where the digital world came from, then he couldn't have been researching him for very long.
Yeah,
because computers, in that sense, would have come around in the 60s and 70s.
yeah,
Mainly, well, I guess technically I have to look up when the first computers came up, but even that may not be powerful enough to create a digi world.
right. So
But then, admittedly, Digimagic, we don't know how it works. Move on.
exactly. So there again, another Digimon theory.
Digi theory. Thanks for watching.
So
We're not done yet.
We're not done
Hang
yet.
on.
We're not done yet. I've got all these weird ideas, theories, what's going on in this movie. There again, if you watch the film or the next theory, great. Do not spoil it for us. Thank you very much. Don't do that for us.
Spoil nothing.
Thank you. Keep us in the dark. Let's be entertained and shocked and awe. What's going to happen next?
Otherwise,
Either
we may
way.
Dark Digivolve and kill you.
Yeah, might be a bad idea. Might be a bad time for you to do that. Either way. So okay, so we learn more about Maku. That her father is he's kind of absentee dad. He's consumed with his work. He's more concerned about his job than his daughter or his wife or whatever. Because he's a working class guy. So he's
Salaryman.
He's salaryman. He's so consumed with his work.
The classic Japanese salaryman who has to work in order to provide for his family, but then doesn't get to spend time with his family because he's too busy taking care of the responsibilities of work.
Exactly. So going into the theory, because if we're basing this theory basing off season 2,
And before you jump in, a good example of the salaryman from something we have already seen, the father from My Neighbors the Amadas. He was a salaryman.
agreed.
So if you want an example and you've seen that movie, that's a salaryman
Okay, very good idea.
in a much more positive light. But
Agreed.
anyway,
So we have the idea that Maku feels neglected by her father. So you go into Digimon Season 2 or Digimon 02. You have the fact that Ken felt grief over the death of his brother. And that he wishes he could let just everything go away. The fact be like he has all this depression, he has this built up anxiety about everything, and so in canon in the show, he's brought into the digital world into the Dark Ocean world, and that's where he gets the Dark D3. So my theory going on, there again, I have nothing based in it, just what I've seen. That Meiku at some point is drawn into the dark world, into the dark ocean world. And that's where the virus comes from, is from the dark ocean. That's my prevailing theory
Okay.
right now.
I follow that. I think part of it is you're stuck. Part of the reason you go that way is because you are stuck on this dark ocean thing.
Possibly.
I have a different theory,
Okay.
and it goes back to the first episode
Okay.
of Try.
Yeah.
The narrator at the beginning of the first episode, while he's doing his narration about, I don't remember exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah.
We
The
see-
beginning.
The beginning. Yeah. We see this egg
Mhm.
being formed.
Yeah.
And mostly it's a big white digi egg. We know
Yeah.
we can tell that. But you also
Except
see-
there's one little black dot.
except for the black dot. What if the black dot is a connection to something that happened a long time ago? What the Digimon he's talking about being born, who didn't
Yeah.
know anything about light or dark or good or bad. What if that's what that is, and that's somehow that egg that we saw is actually Mekumon's egg,
Possibly.
and that's how if she is still the source of the infection, which I'm assuming,
That could be a
no
possibility.
reason for,
Yeah.
she could have malicious code in it, making her technically a Trojan horse. Right?
Could.
You continue using computer terminology.
Right.
Not a virus,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah.
And as she interacts with different Digimon, it's what causes all that to happen. Because
That could be a
if you
factor too.
see, she does. Okay, sorry, she did not fight Leomon, but Ogremon did, and Ogremon was infected, and that spread to Leomon when he got cut.
Yeah.
She's been hanging out with the other Digidestined Digimon all through episode 2.
That is true.
Probably part 2.
Yeah, that would
So
cause
that
the
would
infection to
cause
spread.
them to get infected.
Right.
easily
That makes
enough.
sense.
If there is some malicious code built of whatever that dark square was, that's obviously some form of malicious code.
Yeah.
I can see how that would start affecting others. And so, obviously, before she escaped over and met Mako, or Maku, however you say her name, she may have accidentally infected somebody over there
Yeah.
before she came through. Because that's the thing. All the other Digidestined met their Digimon. I don't know about the season 2 ones.
Yeah.
But the season 1 ones, they all met their Digimon in the digital world.
Yeah. It was the same way.
Maku did not meet Mekumon in
The digital
world.
world.
She met him in the real world.
Yeah.
And it's still interesting that every time they show her Digivice, it's got the cross DNA helixes on it.
Yeah.
Still don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
And I suspect as they start explaining this, we'll get something. But I suspect while Mekumon is obviously, I think, is the source of the infection, she's also going to be how they cure everybody. So I think a cure is coming.
I agree with you there.
And I'm also kind of guessing based on the cover, considering that big Digimon that's on the cover of my box there has a semi-feline motif in the way that Omnimon has a Greymon and Garurumon motif in his design. And it kind of looks like Omnimon on the front of my cover
Yeah.
there.
It's Omnimon.
Yeah, it's Omnimon, but it's not the same Omnimon.
Yeah.
It's a different one, and it's
Yeah.
got a feline design. So I suspect
There might be
maybe-
a purification.
Maybe Gatomon and Mekumon are going to have to fuse like Gabumon and Agumon do to form this other version of Omnimon.
Maybe.
I'm guessing. I
Yeah.
have no idea. Also, that way that would also make sense since they're all being voiced by the same actress. Because they're all
True.
being voiced by Kate Higgins in the English dub.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Both Mekumon and Gatomon, and
Yeah.
they're all voicing their Digivolutions, which I don't know if that's how it was in the original show. I'd have to go back and look at the cast list because I don't think Kate Huggins was the original voice actress for Gatomon.
she wasn't.
But that could be the thought process, just like in the Japanese version, and that's all going to come together. And they only have to record one person's voice for Omnimon instead of two people's voices. Theory, no idea if that's true.
Yeah. Good theory. Good theory.
I think that brings us to the end of.
I
this
think
episode.
so. We've gone
have gotten a little off-
long into
we
the
have gotten a little
the
off the
Digi
rails.
theory.
We do need to rate this thing. I'm giving this one an 8.
Okay.
It's. I don't think it's as good as the last one because I think so far of the 3 we've seen,
Yeah.
Determination is still my favorite because of all the fun that
Yeah.
one is.
Agreed.
And that fun does not detract from the darkness in here, and neither does the darkness here detract from the fun of that one.
Right.
But this one is, while it tells a good story and tells a heart-wrenching story, I just don't like it as much. So I'm going with 8.
Okay. I'm still gonna give it a. I think I'm staying consistent because I've given all of them 8s.
Mm-hmm.
So this is getting an 8 because you have the light, fun, amazing story you have of determination, and then you get the battery of emotion in this one, and it's just be like it's night and day, but it's still just incredible storytelling. I do agree with you with the ending is a little long in tooth.
Yeah.
But and there's these little things here and there, but story wise incredible, animation wise incredible like usual. But yeah, I'm so much a fan of this. I hope they keep going a good click on how the story goes. And
So I know we kept saying that maybe it looks like the next movie might be a brighter story. The name of the next one is Loss.
yeah,
I don't think this is going to get brighter anytime soon, or it might be a little brighter, but not as much.
yeah,
But as we said before, because I've brought this up in every episode.
yeah,
Disc 1 had Agumon, and
Yeah.
the story was about Agumon and Tai.
yeah.
Disc 2, on that cover,
Mm-hmm.
you've got Gabumon. I get Gabumon and Gomamon. Sorry.
Gomamon.
Gomamon and Palmon, who had their
Uh-huh.
ultimate Digivolutions in that episode,
Uh-huh.
and the story focused around their partners.
Yeah.
Sorry, I jumped.
Keep crossing over to Pokemon.
In all fairness, they are similar, and I
Agreed.
have a set thought in my mind.
Yeah.
The cover for the one we just did, Confession, is a picture of Patamon and TK.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also out of motif with the rest of them, which bugs the ever-living crap out of me, but I'm going to move on.
Right.
Lost has Biomon.
Mm-hmm.
Sora is... Yes.
Sora.
Is going. I have a feeling is going to be the main person in the
That's
next
what I'm thinking.
And then it's 5 that's got Gatomon and Mekumon on it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, coexistence.
Yeah. Oh, crap.
But
I got a feeling where that goes.
but the last one, Future,
Mm-hmm.
has just got Gatomon on it.
Got him on.
So yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So
Very,
stay tuned.
very
Stay tuned
interesting.
in that. So speaking of the movie we are reviewing is Digimon Adventure
Sure,
Try Loss. So there again, if you want to go watch that ahead of time,
Feel free. We will catch up with you
we'll catch up with you
before next Tuesday
exactly.
when we record these. And I can't get the stupid sleeve to go back over the case.
There you go.
There we go. I had to go the other direction. Our trivia question for next week. Normally, I base a trivia question on the movie coming up from a quick bit of research. Did not do that this time because I saw something in this that I thought was very interesting, and I had to do a little bit of research to find out what was going on.
Okay.
You are aware, I'm assuming, that nearly every Digimon name in the franchise
Mm-hmm.
is the same both in Japan and in the West, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Nearly every one of them. Because in most cases, because they all end in Mon,
Mm-hmm.
they can easily copyright any name they come up with.
Right.
Unlike Pokemon, which has, they don't have this nomenclature.
Yeah.
So that's why you've got, Charizard in America being called Lizardon in Japan, because they named it Lizardon, but didn't want to, but that copyright wouldn't hold over here for some reason, so they changed it to Charizard.
Mm.
In case you didn't know. Plus,
Didn't know
Lizardon is a horrible name for a Pokemon, in my opinion.
Ah.
But there is apparently at least one that I saw in the movie we just watched
Mm-hmm.
who has a different name in Japan. and they did not fix it in the American localization.
Really?
It's in the audio, but not on screen.
Really?
And that's Mega Kabuterimon.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was watching and they're showing the Digivolution from Tentomon to from Kabuterimon to Mega Kabuterimon.
Yeah.
You know, it shows the name go across. That is not Mega Kabuterimon is not the name that shows up.
That's right.
on
Yeah.
there. My question is, what is the Japanese name for Mega Kabuterimon?
Good point. Have fun.
And I do have to specifically say the red one because apparently there are two different colors. But Izzy's Mega Kabuterimon is the red one.
That's right. Because the other ones, I think, is purple.
It's blue.
It's blue. That's
Officially, the color is blue. It is
Yeah.
more of a bluish purple with the
Yeah.
blue with purple accents.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, this is the red one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does have a different name. Also, interestingly enough, in the Japanese version, while there is a localization to Hercules Kabuterimon,
Mm-hmm.
it's not there. It's essentially the same thing. It's just in Japan, it's like Heraclesio. It's it's the Japanese pronunciation of Hercules. But I can't actually say it right now without the word in front of me.
I got you.
But that Kabuterimon, but it's close enough. And most of the times when there is a quote unquote change, it's changing the lettering to match the pronunciation used, even though it's the same thing.
Right.
But not with Mega Kabuterimon. So yeah, I will post that question tomorrow morning.
All right.
For those of you who are watching live, that will be Wednesday morning. So keep an eye out for that. And other than that, can you think of anything before we end this thing?
No.
So in the meantime, this has been Drew,
This is Jacob.
and that's Deedlit, and we will catch you in the next frame. Come, Jacob. We must prepare for next week.
Prepare for what, Drew?
Same thing we do every week, Jacob. Record a podcast.
Oh boy.
So where can they find you, Jacob?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, also on Facebook at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw each and every day. I don't get to it as often as I like, but join me there. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Jacob B. Heron, on Twitter at Jacob Heron, and Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. So where can they find you, Drew?
You can also follow me on Letterboxd at ggeorge759, Facebook as Drew Dodgen, my Facebook page where you can see pictures I've taken at Drew's Photo Bin. You can also follow me on Twitter at ggeorge759.
You can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter at cast_cell.
You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/thecellcastgaming.
You can also follow us on YouTube at Cellcast,
Listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts,
Google Play Podcasts,
Stitcher,
Spotify.
and your favorite podcast directory.
You can also listen to us on the Movie of the Week podcast with Jim Heron, where we talk about live action movies. And remember, Cell is a single L. Apparently, we don't have a good stinger this week.
Nope.
I'll end it there. Yeah, Deedlit's sad that we're having to end, but it is also late, and we are both tired.
Yes, it's been a long day.
You got anything to say before we cut out to somewhere else?
Yeah, thanks guys for those who watched and those who are going to watch on YouTube. Yeah, thank you so much. There again, you heard earlier, we have Patreon, we have merch. So if you want to support us there, you can do that. If you want to, we're not going to try to push you or try to be like, oh, you need to go do this because that makes you a big fan. It's like, no. If you simply just want to listen to us, like and share what we do to your friends and everybody, that's more than enough. Be like, but if you want to support us financially, you're more than, if you're willing to and financially can afford it, if you can, if you want to, go ahead. So yeah. Have a great night, guys, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, yes.
Next Tuesday.
Thank you all for joining us. For those of you on Twitch, I'm going to raid Art of Mana. And he's playing Animal Crossing New Horizons tonight. Other than that, thank you all for joining us, and we will catch y'all next time.
Later, guys.
One of these days, I'm going to remember to hit the button before I say catch you next time. So that way it will be ready to just go to the raid, because it's like a 10-second wait from when I first hit that button. Reading now. And making sure it worked. I think it did. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. Where is the thing?